Hey everybody, what's going on? welcome to my live. I thought I had an extra second to eat my orange. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. This is my own job. So, you guys, what did you think of the episode on a scale of 1 to 10? Me personally, Erika is not ish for a number of reasons, but we are going to actually talk about this in. Hey, Miss Mason. I thought I had more minutes. Hold on, let me turn this off really quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Orange is gone. We can go. Listen, I want to know what you guys thought of this episode. Erika is an idiot. She's not ish, but you know what this lets me know? She was 100% complicit. So we start off, the ladies are doing paddleboat yoga. Rena shows up in like fully clothed from head to toe with a scarf around her neck. Crystal comes. I love the fact that Crystal loves to humble brag. She acts like she's like, oh my God, that girl, you got a body. You look good. You are skilled in the art of yoga and everything else, right? And apparently she likes women too. We see why Rob Minkoff is like, I'm cool. I can be a one woman man when the woman likes other women, right? But Crystal, okay, let's go through it scene by scene, right? Starts off, they're running around, they're having a good time. Hey, Moni, what's up, Jewel? Hey, Mickey. Hey, Star Jones. And of course, G Mason and Al Marie. They're running around all over. And, they're just showing. Garcelle and Sutton are having conversations. Erika hears them. She starts saying, like, oh, those bitches, they're always talking about me. There's a lot of stuff that happened. They talked about Erika a little bit and at the table, but the real meat of it came on. It really came when Erika, right before she came on the boat, and also when she was at the table, she was in a great mood. She sat there and she talked about Tom. She talked about the conservatorship. But I find it really, really odd that Erika was literally this whole episode doing a victory lap. She was so relieved. I think at this point, one, she thought this was going to blow over. Two, she thought that Tom was the only one that they were going to go after. And three, she was just relieved, right? So she's doing the victory lap. And even her talking to Sutton, it was literally Sutton, her trying to do an image rehab. She felt like everybody believed her. She felt like she had things unlocked. I'm convinced, even that thing where she said her son had to go home and board up the windows. Erika, you live in a mansion. What windows was your son boarding up? You literally live in a mansion. The lies weren't adding up, but she thought she got away with it. She did a victory lap. She was doing her image rehab, and she was sitting there like, oh God, I'm so happy this now. We're going to bring everybody on. We have Mel NYC. We have Not Paid by Anyone, and we have, of course, Candy Washington. But I just want to say, the oddest thing, and we're going to go through it scene by scene, but the oddest thing about this rest of this episode that really, really struck me is the fact that Erika was talking about she's more than willing to peg somebody. If you don't know what it is, go to the dictionary. I'm not explaining it. You're not getting my channel pulled down, but she's more than happy to peg whoever she's with. But her problem is she needs people to shut up. That's her problem. People want to talk. People want to spread rumors. I need people to shut the F up. And we're doing something in bed. And I said, this sounds like it's pretty recent for a woman that's been married 20 years, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's bring our people up. First up, we have the lovely Candy Washington. If you guys have not followed her, go over to her YouTube and follow her. Candy is the best, analytical, fair-minded, even, and she blew the lid off of the All About the Tea scandal. She had people calling in. I was riveted. I was overseas checking her lives like, ooh, Marcella just called in? Oh my God. Monica's on the line. I was riveted by your All About the Tea implosion. You saw the house caving in and you were right there like an investigative reporter interviewing people as they're running out of the building as it collapsed. I said, go ahead, Candy. I like that. Yes, next we have Not Paid by Anyone.
Hey.
Mary, she is YouTube royalty. She has been on the best. And if you want to count this show, maybe the worst, YouTube shows.
No,
All
not at
over the internet. But Miriam, thank you so much for joining. Miriam is always spirited, always has something to say, but she is our Virgo king and queen, and we love it. Next up, we have someone that's new to the YouTube streets. No, not new being a commentator, a panelist, but everyone send positive energy and give a round of applause to Mel, New York City Reviews. He has officially gone live with his YouTube channel. He has launched his Instagram too. He is going to be doing reviews, recaps, and other cool stuff. I don't want to blow the lid off, but he's going to be doing some really cool stuff that you've never seen on YouTube and putting his own spin on everything. You guys go on and subscribe, even though the channel is still building up. He just got the branding done. It doesn't matter. Go and subscribe so you guys can be the first. And I'm sure that you'll see all of us stopping by Mel's channel, giving us acting crazy on his channel, embarrassing him. All right. So congratulations.
I welcome it. Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Hello. Hi. And thank you, Tisa. You're the bomb. Like you're great. Your Simon and Fallon expose, like you left no crumbs. You left no crumbs.
The great thing is they keep making new crumbs. Like I'm like, okay, I got all the crumbs, and they're just like, nope, here's more.
Here's some more. Snatching edges.
Yes, sometimes I'm like, I just want to rest. I want a day off. Can you guys stop doing dumb stuff? But okay, got to give the people what they want. All right, you guys. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna get. Yes, we're going to get everybody's opinion on what they thought of the episode. We'll start with Mel, then we'll go to Miriam, then we'll go to Candy. But I also this time want you guys to okay, let's start off with the first question. What did you think about Erika from the beginning of the season up to this point? What do you think's going on in her mind? Because at this point, it's very just, I don't know, it's unsettling. Like I'm beginning to think that Erika has some type of mental illness, not in the point of her being crazy, not to make, but the fact is like, Erika, do you see reality, or have you been and wrapped up and swaddled in your husband's power for so long? You know, if you see the most powerful people in the room, you can tell because someone tells a joke and everybody's doing like the Lisa Rinna fake laugh. Has she just been ensconced in power for so long that she really is just used to people just believing everything she says? So let's start with Mel, then we'll go Miriam, then we'll go to Candy.
Yeah, well, I think for me, this season for me has been compelling. It's been very compelling because I feel like Erika, in a way, I know people may not like the comparison. She reminded me a little bit of Anna Nicole, a little bit, because Anna was, except for that she's not as drunk, God bless her. I love Anna. Yeah, Lisa loved Anna Nicole. But yeah, she's very sad. She's very sad and very angry and not really in touch with. And she has not been in touch with, how hurtful she can be, and maybe how her life choices have not been very responsible. So
just to interrupt you, true. But this episode, she truly made it seem like she was doing a victory lap. She seemed relieved. It's kind of like, I know when I'm stressed out, I don't eat, I don't drink. I mean, the good thing is I become a skinny legend, right? The bad thing is like I have all this stress on me. I don't allow it. Erika was cutting loose. She was like, oh, what is this? Dipping double dips into the guacamole, drinking champagne. She seemed relieved.
So for me, the OC, it was always legendary in my mind. They always seemed to know when it was the last day of filming, because that's when they became extra. Everybody had big parties and did things. And I feel like Erika she's been like very sad, and she's been monstrous the whole season. So I think she was trying to do a little bit of recovery. Why was she being nice to Sutton if she was totally against her the whole, for most of the season? So if her reaching out and stuff like that, it seemed very fake. It seemed like she was trying to do some damage control. And again, it was very sad again. It just was a I don't know. It's very sad for me to see her.
Okay. So what did you think, Miriam? Miriam's like,
I'm giving you the side eye now with all the love.
And also Lost Love, we're going to let you come on in a second. I just want to do through a quick recap, and then Lost Love, if you're around, definitely come on. So go on. I'm going to drop the link for you, Lost Love, also. So go on. I'm sorry, Miriam.
She was not sad. She was being calculated, because now, like, I'm trying to live up to the two gorgeous detectives in our presence here. And we know now that Sutton requested security after the threat, after being threatened by everyone. So I think she must have gotten like a call from the executives. And this is why she did the 180 talking to her, but yet, because she's a narcissist, this is where you and think she's a narcissist. She couldn't but tell her truth in the confessional that she cannot stand Sutton and that that apology was fake. And she was pretending she didn't want to ruin the trip for the other ladies. But for me, that was another calculated move. She was fake AF. And the women around her, they are all in it. They were all kissing up her ass. What is wrong with them? Like, and she's poor me, I will be okay. No, you will be more than okay. Then thankfully, Kyle, she mentioned the victims. What's wrong with these? I feel like their plot fell off. They wanted to gaslight the audience. They didn't know we would know what we know now, and that we know that they knew. At least Andy, Kyle, and Lisa, Rena, they knew because Bethany told them. So it's just so disgusting to watch. To be honest with you, I feel like I'm not compelled to watch. It's like I'm hate watching. I'm still hate watching.
Candy, what about you? What's your whole psychological makeup of Erika?
Okay, so Erika, I agree. She is a narcissist, right? And she's very ego based. And people with that type of personality truly believe they are the smartest person in the room at all times. So the reason why she came on this season with these bogus stories, flip flopping, being angry, but then being stoic is because she really thinks that we're going to buy this BS. And to be perfectly honest, she has no reason not to believe that. Her and Tom, years before he met Erika, but still decades when he was with her for the last 20 decades, have really gotten away with a very intricate Ponzi scheme. They have been protected. They have been coddled. They have had no consequences for their actions. Like judges, executives, all these people, lawyers, Bethany told it all. They've all known he's been doing this and he has had no consequence. So why would Erika think that she would be any different? I think her and Tom got together to create these stories. They've gotten away with it for decades. They're never held accountable. So why would she not think that she would get away with it? I also think that she was emboldened. If you go back and watch the last of the couple episodes, when Kathy Hilton was kind of co-signing what she was saying, because I don't think Kathy understood the magnitude of what Tom had done. And Kathy was kind of co-signing. She's like, yeah, your husband sends you something and you just sign it. It's fine. Oh, Sutton, good thing about that. Nobody cares what she thinks. So I think Erika really thought, wow, they're really buying this crap. So I think that she was doing the victory lap and she was being very narcissistic because she thought she had gotten away with it because she had no reason to think that she wouldn't get away with it. She's always been protected. She's had people have her back. And again, she's a narcissist, so she sees people as utility. What can you do for me? What can I get from you? So as long as Sutton is going after her, she's going to go after her 10 times more. But then the moment she thinks it's no longer a threat, well, Sutton does have money. Sutton does have connections. Let me get back in Sutton's good graces because now Sutton can do something for me. So I kind of think that's where Erika is, and that's kind of how she's been this season.
Well, I have to think. Sorry, Mary, I'm sorry to overtalk you, but this is the one thing I don't know. I don't believe that Erika's a narcissist. I don't. I think she's ego driven. I just don't see much narcissistic behavior. I think Erika is a bully, and she reminds me of a rich man's girlfriend or wife, but one who makes their money illegally. I happen to know a couple, and the way she acts just reminds me of them. No one can check me. No one can do this. So it's almost like a king, when you see in those Disney movies, the way the queen or the king have to act like a pauper, and they're just like, it's like they're so loose. It's like a star. When you've had 30 years of people kissing your butt, right? How can you ever trust that what anybody says is true? I guess you don't know until your star tries. It's like a beautiful woman. How do you know everybody thinks you're so funny as all these men until your beauty starts to fade? And then you see who really actually cares about you as a person. I will say, now this is the thing. This is one scene I want you guys to hone into. Why is she complaining? No one takes care of Tom. Lost Love, give me 1 second. I'll let you in 1 second. Okay, so in the scene, Erika set it up. And she goes and she's like, Tom's done a lot of things for a lot of people. I think at this point, they still thought they were going to get away with it. She literally thought that this was, listen, I have all the state bar in my pocket. I have all the lawyers in my pocket.
Yep.
These people have been suing us, like you said, a Ponzi scheme. People have been trying to sue Tom and go to the Bar Association for like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It just always got shut down. She looked at it as like, that'll get shut down, but let me make sure that I bully these women. And then now that I've gotten away with it, now I need to do damage control. Let me reach out to Sutton. Let me reach out to Garcelle, because again, she's the queen. And if I let you kiss my fingers, I'll forgive him. But she goes on and she starts saying, Tom's done a lot of things for a lot of people. And Kyle was playing the dog mess out of Erika this whole season, and I love it. But Kyle was giving her thing like, ooh, that doesn't sound right. Don't say that. And he was talking about him being put in a conservatory. They thought that if he could be declared some type of conservatory, it's not about him having to pay money back. Because I really do think that break-in was for them to move assets, maybe cashier's checks, maybe banknotes, maybe jewelry, maybe art. I think it was for him to move assets, right? But the dementia thing was for Tom to avoid jail time, because everybody keeps forgetting right now, and everybody's like, it's not criminal. I know, but you guys, what do you think the next steps are? What do you think the next steps are once they're like, okay, so you definitely did this, and we split your assets. Now that we split your assets, then we're going to go after you criminally, because one, now we know where all the bodies are buried. We know all the things you did wrong. And three, you don't have any money to even fight us. So perfect. Let's move in. So they have to do that. So Erika's sitting there and she's like, Tom's done a lot of people. And after all these time, they turn their backs on them. Who's going to take care of this man? I was with them. Who's going to take care of this man? And everyone was looking like, if you care so much, if your husband has Alzheimer's, and don't tell me the lawyer said it, you can take care of him and still say you didn't know. You can be a caring wife, but still say the things he did is bad, but he's very, very sick. But I think at this point, this is why I think Erika thought they got away with it. They had a conservatorship. I think all their little legal flunkies that they had paid in upon was like, listen, just say you have Alzheimer's, get a conservatorship, and we'll make this go away. And she was just like, I did what I did. I did this. I did that. I can go with my new sugar daddy, or I can just have my boy toys. I have enough. Let's welcome Lost Love really quick to this thing. So Candy and Miriam, Aaron, Lost Love, welcome, and Mel, New York City, right? We have Lost Love, the newest member of our panel. What's up, Lost Love? But I'm just saying that I don't think, I don't think she's a narcissist. I think she's delusional. But what do you think about the way Erika looked? And maybe you could say it's narcissism. Did she look dead in the camera and said, who's going to take care of Tom now that there's no more money? And they're just like, but girl, you were his wife and you benefited more than anyone. What do you guys think?
Well, I was going to say one thing that first up, I think you just blew my mind, because you got me thinking of Tom and Erika almost like Skylar and Walter White of Breaking Bad. They had a white collar version of that. And also I want to say, when I first started, I don't think Erika is sad. I just think that the whole season has been so heavy for me that when I watch her, I'm not saying I'm sad, but it's just heavy. It's just very heavy. Even if she's Victory and she's scheming and doing all this kind of stuff, her energy is so heavy, maybe even dark to me. So it's just a lot of heaviness. But I just don't know. It felt like a 180 where she didn't want to talk about things. She was snapping everybody, and now she was doing this sort of divulging of maybe protecting him in a way, or saying nice things about him, or I mean, at this point, everybody came out with all this stuff about the victim, so it just seemed a little crazy to me.
Don't forget, Lisa Rinna is her horror crux, right? Lisa Rinna is her horror crux. That's where you see her soul. Lisa
Come on,
Rinna,
Harry Potter.
Yes, right. Shout out to Harry Potter. But Lisa Rinna was also smug as hell too. Smug as hell. So whatever happened, whatever she thought, I wish somebody could go check her Instagram. What am I saying? I am not someone. Go check her Instagram feed or see what was going on that date. But I'm telling you, I was like, you think you just like got away with the Ponzi scheme? That's crime of the century.
I think the plan was to get away, definitely. But I don't anyone, not even Erika, believe on the lies that are coming out of her mouth. Just like Tamara said in one reunion to Gretchen, or no, to what's her name, to Alexis, say, do you believe it? Is your ass jealous of the crap that comes out of your mouth? This is how they are right now. This is how they are right now. I feel like knows a lot of their skeletons, and she has threatened them. If you guys don't get along with my plan, I will go down and everybody goes down with me. This is obvious to me. And this 180 that she all of a sudden wants to talk with Sutton, she got a call because Sutton has now security there. And she still not doesn't feel safe. Even when they were playing Have I Ever, like Sutton was like, she was very skeptical. Then was like, oh, this is the real Erika. Which real Erika? The real Erika that you guys thought you knew was living a lie and told you about the lie. So this is why I feel like everybody knows, everybody's scared of Erika, especially Kyle and Lisa, especially these two. And I don't agree with you about Kathy that she didn't know. Kathy is as smart as a fox. That's who she is. And she knew she wanted to touch things from afar with a stick so that her hands stay clean. That's who she is. Yeah.
She does not give a damn. Because I've been Kathy. Oh, Tisa's so smart. I just don't give a damn.
Yeah, she doesn't care. I don't think Kathy cares.
Yeah, what? You just robbed a bank? All right, cool.
Yeah, Kathy just could not be bothered. But to that, I think a couple of things. I think narcissism, like any personality disorder, it's always on a spectrum. It's on a scale. So you have full-blown malignant narcissists, and then you have people who are on that spectrum. I think Erika falls on that spectrum, particularly because she lacks empathy for the victims. Like, she is literally does not care and has no problem emoting that she does not care about them. And I think that puts her more on a narcissistic scale. I think the reason why she's saying, who's going to take care of Tom, is everything she does is strategic. And I think the reason why she did that was to distance Tom's children and family from his alleged whatever criminal activity, because it came out that his son and his son's wife, the wife was actually getting the fraudulent money from that lottery thing that happened. They were giving it to Erika, they were giving it to the son's wife. The son worked at the firm. I think, again, they get together and they have their key messages that they want to sprinkle through the episodes. I think that's one, because I think what they want to do is distance them, even though they're clearly in cahoots. But they want to give the appearance that they're not, because they don't want to bring in the son and the wife to be liable for all this. Because he was a lawyer at the law firm. His wife was getting fraudulent money. So they could be sued as well. So I think it was her strategic way of trying to distance them. Again, with Erika, the reason why she was excited about the conservatorship, because I don't think that Tom has dementia or any of that. And the reason why she's like, everyone's like, why aren't you taking care of her? Because she knows that he doesn't need to be taken care of. He has been taking care of himself this entire time. They had this like fake news that he was going to like a senior citizen home. Now, allegedly, he's actually moved into it. Maybe, maybe not. But this whole entire time, he's been living on his own in his mansion. So clearly she knows he doesn't actually need to be taken care of. So that's why I think she's just trying to distance them. And that's why she's not there. And I also don't think that there's been any cheating. I think they've been open. I think if he's dipped out, she's known. I think if she's dipped out, he's known. So the whole cheating stuff. You don't think that they knew? Or you don't think that they were cheating?
I don't think that you are giving somebody 14 million in Amex bills and 25 million a year for them to be laid up in someone else's bed. Even though Tom might not be able to do anything to Erika, I just don't see, because you're paying for her lifestyle. Even how Tom made that joke when he's like, I look at all the other lawyers and it's like, can you afford her? Well, until then, if you can have her. That's his trophy.
I think you're looking through the lens of a different type of lens. I think when you have people who operate the way Tom Girardi does and the way Erika does, he knows exactly who Erika is. He bankrolled this Erika Jane lifestyle where her cooch is everywhere all day long. Flip it out, come get it. And I think that people But I think that people in those types of relationships, I'm not saying that he's co-signing her having like a full-on boyfriend on the side and it's like this little like love relationship. But I think they're freaky when it comes to, oh, invite a girl in. Oh, you're doing something with the guy, let me watch. I think they're probably very freaky.
True, but inviting a woman in for a man that has a big ego, and everybody said Tom Girardi had a big ego, is completely different than knowing that your wife is like in somebody else's bed. Do you see what I'm saying?
But I don't mean like she's shacked up with the guy and he's bankrolling her. I mean that they've had extramarital flings and sex and things like that and pegging and all of those things that I think he was aware of and it was cool. I don't think that she's cheated on him and I don't think that he's cheated on her in the traditional sense that we would think of it as if like, oh, my boyfriend husband cheated on me. If that makes sense.
Okay. This is part of the plan. He was pimping her out to distract.
Oh, Lord.
It's funny here, although I know it's funny if it wasn't tragic. Back something about Dennis that Tom used to send him the videos of Erika's video clips and tell him, when you're alone, watch it. And
who's Dennis? Dennis
said that Tom used to send the videos to the lawyers, including Dennis, and saying, watch the video clip of my wife.
Oh, Dennis is Bethany. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Bethany's fiance. Okay.
Yeah. Rest in peace. So, and he is it's unbelievable how after his death, his voice is so loud and clear here in this case. So this is what he used to do. And who did Tom owe money? To the lawyers that were lending him, so it was kind of a distraction. Erika Jane is part of the business plan. It was never a marriage.
Yeah.
It was a business deal.
Can I tell you something? Miriam, you might have a point. No, Miriam, you have a point, except for the thing that I've actually dated a guy when I was younger that really enjoyed feeling like he controlled my sexual energy. Whenever we went out, it was like, wear something short, wear something tighter, better. I don't have any problem, but it was just like more. He wanted when I walked into a room for every guy to be like, God damn, who is that? He wanted for women to look at me in jealousy. He liked teasing like, oh, did you see Tisa? Look at our vacation picture. He liked seeing that, but I'm telling you, they would have had to call the cops, the feds, and everything else if I even fed into that for a second. Some men,
but he's not.
Some men get off on that.
Money from victims.
What's that?
He's not a lawyer that has been stealing money from victims.
But my whole point is he's very powerful and he's very rich. The way he makes his money lets you know that he's cold-hearted and he's out for self. But that doesn't take away from the fact of usually when guys have that much money and that much power and that much ego, they almost get off on being like, she's untouchable. You can come in this room and sit here butt naked and no one is going to have the balls. They'll like go home and think about you. They'll salivate like a dog, but nobody's going to have the balls to touch you because I'm that powerful and I run shit. I see that in Tom Girardi, even the way he treated Erika, him sending those things about watch this if you're alone. That's gloating. You guys have wives your own age that ain't doing it like mine. I'm married to this woman that's like every man's dream. Go ahead, you poor schmuck. Have fun with that. I see that in Tom even into that. Like, go ahead, have fun with that. Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the last thing. If he really was using Erika to distract everybody he owed money to, then why wasn't he having business dinners with Erika coming over? Why wasn't he being like, no. I don't mean Erika joining. No, I don't mean Erika joining his fellow lawyers. I mean the people he owed money to. Why wasn't he being like having Erika call? Hey, Dennis, Tom told me you called. I'll see about that. Why wasn't he using her as a true tool if he was helping her out?
But she used to go with Tom. They had on a schedule. When she first came to the Housewives, she said, during the day, I'm Erika Girardi, and at night, I'm Erika Jane.
Because when you're married to a powerful man that is in business, but listen, when you're married to a powerful man that actually has like it's not family money. They built their money up or they have a job. Babe, your life is going to these damn business dinners where everybody has that's why when guys get really deep into business, most of them get married, even if they don't like the girl, because you can't keep bringing girlfriends around. That can happen if it's just the guys. But when you want to be taken seriously and you're having all these business dinners, everyone comes with their wife. You almost have to get married to actually move up. So of course,
it's an image thing. I don't think that he was actually pimping her out. I think that more as I think that way more as a joke. But I do think that Tom and Erika probably had some very freaky ways. That's all I'm gonna put it there. I'm not saying she had a full-blown boyfriend relationship outside of him, but eyes wide shut type of situation, I think.
Maybe, but in that case, and Miriam, to your point, but when it comes to that, I stay out of people's bedrooms because who knows what, as long as it's legal.
Yeah, and consensual, we're fine.
Of course. Well, legal, consensual, yeah. Lost love, why don't you weigh in on this? Do you think that Tom was pimping? You missed a lot, Lost Love. Jump in on this.
I hear you guys.
Miriam gave a very, very interesting theory. And you know what? It could go either way. It literally could go either way. What do you think about this?
Honestly, I have to admit, like, if you look at the age difference, Erika Jayne is eye candy to Tom Girardi. Like, there's no denying that. That's the way I see it. You guys made so many good points while I was away that I agreed with a lot of the things you said. I would honestly be repeating a lot of the things you said if I gave my answer. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I honestly think that I really don't. Here's my thing, right? I don't really believe that Erika Jayne is a very like sexual person, so to say. I feel like she gives off like sex appeal, but I don't think that's her by nature. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's raunchy, but she's not actually like sexy. If that makes sense. She's a very raunchy character. But I actually think that Erika Jayne is the distraction. I don't mean like pimping her out. I mean like the business and everything that she does with the Real Housewives is the distraction from their truly fraudulent activities. Like we have like Ron Richards out here talking about, we're trying to find this $25 million in her Hermes purse and this, Givenchy, blah, blah, blah. I think that is what the actual distraction is. I think the real conspiracy, the real nuts and bolts is how did he get away with this for so long? Who is in his pockets? Whose pockets are he in? How did he amass his influence and his power? If he's actually broke, is what it looks like, he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. What is the actual currency behind his influence and power? Because it seems like everyone was scared of him. Everyone protected him. Even Bethany, the big B, was backtracking like nobody's business. But the reason why I think Bethany was backtracking was because she didn't want to have to disclose the billionaire lawyer she was talking about and all the other people that she talked about. I think she didn't want to betray who they were. So I think that's the real reason why she was backtracking. Yeah. But I think there's something else going on. It's like, I think the whole Erika Jayne is a red herring. Look at the shiny thing and you don't see what's going on. And then her LLC was nothing but a front for money laundering, allegedly, in my opinion. It was all money laundering. It was all a tax scheme. Her business made no money, and I think they set it up that way. And then she had Lisa Rinna's business manager. Hello, that is a big red flag. Her and Rinna did something dirty, allegedly, in my opinion, with that business manager. And to me, Rinna is a snake, and the only reason why Rinna does anything is in her own self-interest. So I don't think that she's going so hard for Erika because they're actually friends. She's going so hard for Erika because I think it's mutually assured destruction. I think Erika has something on Rinna, and Rinna that they did together, and she doesn't want her to go down, because to me that's the only way that makes sense, because Rinna has no true loyalty. She'll have allegiance. She'll have an allegiance to you as long as you are being useful to her, but she doesn't have a true loyalty to anyone. And if you peeped it at Kathy Hilton's dinner party, when Rinna was pretending like she was drunk but she wasn't, and she was ringing that bell, Did you notice she said, "Oh, this is the truth, Belle. When you get the truth, you have to own it." And who did she give it to? Sutton. She could have given it to anybody else, but she gave it to Sutton when she knew Sutton was going to gun for Erika. That is so grimy and so dirty, but you want to act like you have your friend's back, but you gave the bell to Sutton. You could have given it to anybody else.
True, but she's messy. Now, just to like do a little thing, the power Tom Wells was Gavin Newsom, who he was a generous donator to. That's the governor of California. He just got confirmed again.
Yes, he did. Sorry.
Yes, he had literally given Tom the power to appoint judges, which if you know anything about law, lawyers, I think he basically was a kingmaker. On top of that, Tom had the whole California bar in his pocket. So Tom was super, super powerful to that point. However, and this goes into my whole thing about why I think Erika's doing a victory lap. You know, it's almost like if I got arrested. Okay, fine, I got arrested. But my daddy's a judge and my brother said to please and this and that. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, and the first time it's happened, we're going to get away with this. And all I have to do is make sure I keep my image in Beverly Hills so I can live in the community. Now, I do want to say something else. Crystal.
Oh, God. Oh,
Crystal.
Can I say something?
Go on. I'll speak last, Crystal. So wait, hold on. So we'll do Miriam, then we'll do Lost Love, Mel New York City, and then we'll do the candy. And then I'll give my opinion on Crystal. Go on.
Yeah.
Also, before you guys start with Crystal, can I just say one thing about the last topic you guys came off of?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to move on so quickly. Yes, go on, babe.
No, it's all right. I just wanted to say, like, Erika really tried to create a distinction between Erika Jayne and Erika Girardi on the show. And you can tell because all the other ladies, like, I don't know if you guys can remember back to when she first started on the show and the whole Pantygate happened and people were and they were defending her saying like, oh, Erika Girardi isn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, Erika Jayne may be a blonde, but she is not a dumb blonde, okay? She is putting on the performance of a lifetime because her life is on the line, okay? Like, the whole, let's not even forget that she literally outed herself when she was talking about how she was sad about Tom not coming to see her in Chicago. And she said something along the lines of, you gave me the ball and I ran into the end zone. So what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
I don't know sports. What is that supposed to mean?
What she means by that is like he funded her Erika Jayne career as this like pop star, whatever. So you basically gave me the resources to become Erika Jayne, and now I've taken it and I've got the touchdown because I'm in Chicago, I'm on Broadway. Like, look, Ma, I made it. That's what she was trying to say.
Oh God.
But if you also peep that, she had Tom review her Chicago contract. So if you were so worried on TV, time-stamped. So if you were so concerned about this man's level of cognizance and whether he has dementia, if he's able to make, sound legal decisions, why did you have him review the single most important contract of your life, Erika Girardi? Because you're a fraud.
And she lies like the lies I would lie when I was like 7 years old.
And she needs a better acting teacher. So she needs a better acting teacher.
No. If her mom comes in and she asks about the popsicles, what are we gonna say? Yes, the dog went and opened the freezer. And you're just like, okay, right?
We can make it here. I feel like Tom had the whole California situation, like the lawyers, the judges. He knew skeletons about them, and he knew that he had leverage in making their career and dropping them down. The same thing, Erika, with the ladies and on the show that are co-signing to all the lunatic explanations and stories that she's telling us just to deflect from the victims who got their money stolen. We cannot repeat that enough. If I sound like a broken record, in this one, it's intentional. In the others, I'm long-winded. Like,
we love it. There's no such thing as like, you're opinionated, not long-winded.
Yeah.
But it's like she was waiting for permission to admit that now she likes Sutton. It was only after the fake apology that nobody knew was fake, other than Kyle and Lisa, that she goes, by the way, I want to say something in front of everybody, and I really like you, and I'm enjoying you. And she goes, gives her a hug. Like, girl, like, I cannot, for the life of me, like, understand, like, it's obvious she's scared of Erika as well. For some reason, she saw how Erika can be nasty, and all these housewives who say they never watched the show, they are liars. Of course, if I am going to a show, to a Real Housewives, I don't need to watch them again because I watched them all. But these ladies, they do. So for her to not see that Erika, she snaps and she's aggressive, and then she witnessed her threatening as Sutton, of course she's scared of her. And when Erika gave like her fake apology to Sutton, she goes, oh, I like you, Sutton. Oh, really? Tell her you like her. Have some balls. Have some Confucius balls. Like before Erika opens her mouth. Like I could not. It's.
I also think Erika was also trying to make sure she saved her job on the show, because we also have to remember how aggressive and how scary she was. If Sutton is going to production saying, I want security, I want security. And she also, and remember when Sutton came out and said how Erika whispered something in her ear that was so disturbing that Sutton got up and wanted to leave. I think she had threatened her family. She had threatened, because she was like, I'm not going to protect my family, and she almost left the show. So I think Erika moves that way. She's also making sure that she's going to keep her diamond. Because she's great in doing this, but she has to make sure that Bravo doesn't let her go.
I was going to say something because for me, I just sort of I just watch, and I love how investigating Miss Candy and Miriam. Yeah, go to nuggets. Yeah, go deep, and Miss Tessa too. But so this is what I was thinking. We never really get the confirmation of some of these theories from the housewives on the shows. You know, we have our think tanks, our brainstorming, and our reviews, and we have these. You know, we say what we say, but then the people never confirm it. Do we think on Beverly Hills itself that we need a character like even though they polarize it, we need a character like a Kenya, we need a character like a Giselle, because with those characters, they take the fourth wall, take these theories that we have, and they put it right in front of the camera, and the people can't wiggle out of it. Lisa Rinna used to do that, but she did it in a mean way. Do we need a character like that on Beverly Hills to really expose some of these connections that sometimes other ladies on different series do? Because on this series, we don't really get that. We get Garcelle and Sutton and them, defending themselves and holding to their integrity, but we don't get people really exposing the behind the scenes like on other shows.
Kenya needs to
be. You're saying we need someone with a backbone.
Yes, that's right, Miss Lost Love. We need somebody. We need a pot stirrer. We need a Kenya. We need a LVP. LVP was the reason they got her off the shows, because she was so slick at doing it that they couldn't stand that there was never a chance that they could hide something. She would expose it, tell the blogs, and that was what she did. So that's why they got her. They didn't want her in the circle anymore, I believe. We need somebody in there. Well, I mean, that was the reason they kept saying the whole thing was with Brandy and all of them, and say, oh, she exposes everything we do. She lies on us. She tells the blogs, blah, 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 blah. And I think Brandy. Say it again. What happened? What I missed?
I said I did love that about Brandy, the way she'd be like,
oh, Brandy too. What, Brandy too? Yeah. Yeah. But I just think that we need somebody on the show. Garcelle and Sutton are wonderful, but we need somebody a little aggressive if this show is going to really connect,
I would say, go ahead.
Franchise. And this is why exactly I said she got a call from the executives. They told her, now there's
trying to save her job.
You need to easen up, like on your talking with Sutton, because I think they were liable as well. If something happened to Sutton and she is their employee, the way like it works, the employers are liable because these two are interacting under like a contract with the company. So there was liability there. Believe me, I bet my bottom dollar she got a call from the executives to change her narrative with Sutton on the show because of the threat
and I felt that tonight. Tonight, I felt that. I agree with you. That was what I was saying at the beginning. I felt like, where did this one? She was so her confessional. She was holding down. I don't like the woman. I can't stand her. Da, da, da. But then she was, kissing her ass a little bit when she was talking to her, help playing with her chair. And I said, wait a minute, this is so disjointed. Why is she doing a 180? I didn't agree with her being a monster because she was a total monster to Sutton. But to come to the table and be the way she was, it was scary. It was like, it was so fake and crazy. And then we had the season finale next week. So I feel like she was doing damage control. So I agree. It just seemed 180 and it's just so fake. Oh, the girl is just lost. She's lost.
Yeah. Well, I think Erika definitely was trying to save her job. I don't think it's so much the network felt that they would be liable. Like what happened in RHOBH. We don't need to go there, but with like Candace and Monique and that whole situation, and in their contracts, they do kind of sign away certain rights and certain rights to sue depending on what exactly happened. So I do think that she was trying to save her job, and people were probably trying to step in there, and she was trying to do that. And I do agree that we need like a Kenya type person or someone to really stir it up. I think Sutton and Garcelle are doing their best, but I think when it comes to this particular situation, how we're actually proving the conspiracies, unfortunately, is that we have court documents, we have victim statements, we have the Hulu documentary, we have Ron Richardson tweeting a different motion, dissertation, legalese every single day. So we may not have that person physically on the show, but we do have everything being confirmed in the media through the actual cases. Like you can go and like read all the stuff. You can go listen to the victim statements. So it is being confirmed. And I think that's why everybody on the cast has now unfollowed her. And that's why everybody on the cast now is distancing themselves from her.
Yeah, well,
and that's a big reason why I also think and also why I think Bravo itself has been exposing Erika more on the episodes is because you have to remember they were filming this in real time.
Yeah,
so we have the luxury of retrospection. Like when it all came out, they were actually filming it. So when it was going down, it was in real time. So we went in knowing what they don't know now. Yeah, I think Bravo was protecting her a little bit in the beginning, but then once everything came out, they were like, we can no longer protect her.
So you guys, hold on. I want to give hold on, you guys. Sorry. I want to welcome Kai to the chat. So we're going to go and give our hey, Kai. We're going to go through and give our opinions. Go ahead, Mel, and then we'll go to Miriam, then we'll go to Lost Left, and then we'll go to Kai because I want to hear everybody's perspective.
No, I agree with what Candy was saying. I think that, we definitely have evidence for the crimes. We have evidence for the money schemes. I think when it comes to, what I was talking about was I needed Kenya and Giselle on this cast to talk about just what you all was talking about her being pimped out, about the affairs. I'm messy. So I like a messy lady to be there and say, okay, girl, wait a minute. Was he pimping you out? What's going on? That part. So what you're saying, Candy, with the crimes, everybody knows this. But as far as the mess, I want somebody to go, well, what did he do with you? What's going on? We don't get that. And I think Lisa used to do that, but now on the cast, we don't really have that on the show. So the crimes, yes, I know that part is true. Everything, you know. But when it comes to the personal life, like you were saying, the pimping and affairs and I want to know. And I want the people to ask.
Speaking of Mel, I'm really happy you said that because how come, and this is my conspiracy theory, allegedly in my opinion, how come no one called Crystal to the carpet when she said she was a receptionist at an escort agency, and then literally less than a year and a half later, she was married to this big top Disney executive? Girl, you were not a receptionist at an escort agency.
Oh, no.
You were in escort. Mr. Rock Minkoff came and picked you up, and then you have this fabulous life. Don't keep it twisted.
You saying Crystal was a geisha, honey? You think she was a geisha? Oh, Lord.
No, you guys.
I'm not trying to dog anybody's. I'm not going on anybody's culture. No, but all I'm saying is, if you're like, it's like RHOBH,
Oh my God.
You guys, stop. I'm gonna change the subject. Crystal was not an escort. She answered the phone.
Okay.
She wasn't an escort. Listen, how else do you think she met Rob? She was like, it was his 8th time calling in, and she was like, Rob, you seem lonely. Do you want to talk to someone?
But Miriam, okay. I was going to say this. So you write it. Have you ever read Jackie? Oh, okay, got it. I was going to say, you ever read Jackie Collins when she used to talk about the Hollywood wives and how they met them and got the. So what you're saying? Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you
That
something.
part.
Let me
That
tell you
part.
guys, no, let me tell you guys something that
Yes.
I learned. I mean, you guys wouldn't know it, and some of you might not believe it, but I have a lot of letters behind my name. I am highly educated. I've gotten a few graduate. There's a few letters behind my name.
I believe
Yeah,
you, honey.
I believe it.
But here's the thing. It's all a scam the way they tell people that if you want to, meet a high value man or whatever you would have called, you have to all those things. Because the people that are winning are the strippers, are the escorts,
Hello.
are the waitresses, are the
Hello.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait a
listen,
minute now.
I haven't been an
Speak on
escort,
it, Tisa. Speak
I
on it.
have been in the service
like they want
industry,
someone
not
to
the
take care.
sexual service industry, but I've been in the service industry, and that's how I met most of the people that I know. So it's kind of like that thing about, listen, because you got to think about it. When you are a very, very independent woman, and let's just say you're a lawyer or you're a psychologist or a therapist or a doctor, right? You have to get up to work. You care about what you do. It's almost easier to get someone that's a receptionist that you're just like, I only make 80,000 a year. We can leave this shit tomorrow. When they're just like, get dressed, we're going to Bermuda, done. Right? They don't want someone that's like, well, I have to schedule it in and I have this important thing. I always, in relationships,
I agree.
one person has to be flexible with their career. It could be the man, it could be the woman, but one person has to be flexible and the other person has to be really devoted. The really devoted one usually is the one bringing the money in. But you see what I'm saying? It's very rare when you see two busy people that stay together. Usually one sacrifices and one doesn't,
Exactly.
So,
So
so anyone that's just starting off in life and you want to get a rich man.
So wait a minute. So Tisa,
Go to Nobu Hollywood and get a job being a waitress. Go down to Miami and get a job being a bartender and talk to us in 2 years and tell us.
So I was gonna say this. So Tisa, I might need to change my name from Mel NYC to Mel Beverly Hills secretary at the. I need to find me a rich husband, honey. Listen.
Mel.
Come on.
I'll join you.
Come on, Miss Candy. Come on, Miss Candy.
I will join you.
Come on.
Crystal was a receptionist, girl, bye. And it's also just like
she was a receptionist.
But nobody called her to carpet to task for that. I'm sorry. I was out kikiing with my good girlfriends, and she let the cat out of the bag that she was a receptionist at an escort agency. And then less than a year later, she was married to this. Like, I'll be like, girl, come through with the tea.
But
come through with the tea.
This is how I knew Crystal in the past had been in some real freaky stuff, right? Because people that are really into freaky stuff, and I always say this, the girls that come in with everything showing, they just like everything showing. If you actually ask them and you look into their history, it's just normal. The girls that come saying, oh, I don't want to show too much shit, and you have the neck up the hair for no reason, and you're acting real proper. That's the one that's just like, don't stop, get it.
That's right.
I was too concerned with looking proper and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so when I heard that she was a receptionist at escort, I was like,
that tracks.
That tracks. It tracks. 100%. And you want a lady in the streets and a
freak in the streets. Exactly.
And she that thing. So I was like, Crystal, I see what you're doing, girl. I see your game. And it works 100%. So listen, there's different games to get different types of men. Her game gotta rob Minkinoff, right? Her game gotta rob Minkinoff, but that's not to say that Black China's game doesn't get somebody else either. It's all different games. It's all how you present yourself. But I saw that. I was like, Crystal, stop it. And even the way she's always like, my butt's all out. Like,
I know.
Oh, but that scene though, but you have to admit, what Lisa Rinna did to Crystal was kind of dirty. Like,
yes, it was.
Like promising Crystal she was gonna wear a bikini at the pool for a camera workout and then showing up in leggings and a tank top.
True, but you know what she also could have did? She also could have, because her hotel room was 5 minutes away, been like, hold on, I'm gonna go put on a pair of leggings too. But the fact that instead of saying, oh my God, Crystal couldn't wait to show off her body, and it's a beautiful body, but Crystal to me is one of those humble, bragging, fake, modest people. Oh my God, my butt's all in the camera. But you got that shit tooted up and popped back and put that arch in your back. Yes, she was on the thing like, that is so embarrassing. You get this angle. Crystal, stop it. You ain't got a lot to kick it. You all got a lot to kick it. But Crystal's like, good girls don't do that. Because let me tell you something. if my friend had done that, I'd have been like, pause, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Or literally, I would have took my producer and been like, can you send somebody up to my room and get like the pants? They're right there in my thing.
No, I would have made her change. I'd have been like, can you go get her a bikini?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done. You gotta see with people like Rinna, you gotta flip it. I don't say play in the dirt with pigs because the pigs likes it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you have to outsmart a snake like Rinna. You don't go change. You make her actually have integrity. Your actions need to meet what your words are.
Candy's that friend. That friend where I come in 5 minutes late and she's like, no, your actions need to show integrity.
Yes.
I'm
No,
just
you don't.
5 minutes late, girl.
You don't understand. I am so like, I'm very chill, but I'm also very type A. And it's like, if we're meeting at 5 o'clock and it's 5:01,
really?
We have a problem. Because my time is valuable.
I'm that person that at 5:23, I'm texting everybody at the table, like, y'all can just start ordering without me. I'll show up around dessert. Don't worry. Don't wait for me. And I show up, I grab a extra waiter. Can I have a fork, please? And start digging into whatever's left on the table. And I don't do this disrespectful. I'm just always running late. But I will say, oddly enough, type A people and type mess people, which I say I am, for some reason they're drawn to each other, right? I feel like
I was going to say that one of my best friends, she is notoriously late. Like I have to do like my inner work. I have to like breathe, Candy, just relax, go get a cocktail. Like I like meditate, husa, because she's notoriously late. So now I just start telling her, like, if it's 6 o'clock, I tell her 5. So then I know she'll get there at 6, but like, and she's like one of my like best friends, but she's always notoriously late, and I cannot handle it.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Kaya, are you here? Is Kaya on?
No,
I don't see it.
Yeah. Oh, you are. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't know.
I just don't see myself. I just muted, so I was like, I don't think I'm on the screen. So I was like, oh, let me put myself on.
No, I don't know why you're not showing up on the screen. Maybe there's a limit to how many people we can show on the screen. Let's try this way. Hold on. Do you show up this way?
There we go.
There we go. She is. Okay. One kingdom to rule them all. Oh, okay. Okay.
The power.
So, but here's the thing. So one tall girl, thank you for the super chat, said Crystal's quote was she was an operator at an escort agency when she was 18. Quote her right. She didn't say secretary. Oh, that's right. She was an operator.
Yeah. First of all, I said receptionist. I said receptionist, not secretary. And I think the operator is the same thing.
You know what?
I mean, they're all answering the phone either way.
You guys might actually hold on. I retract everything I said because whenever somebody starts making up dumb lies, it's when my meter goes off. So you weren't a receptionist. You're now calling yourself an operator. But this
Thank you.
You weren't patching calls through on the switchboard like, hello, second and leave it. 1 moment. It's like, what were you doing? Now you're an operator. Oh, maybe
I actually think she said I think she said receptionist. I don't think she said operator. I think she said receptionist.
She was the one that used to answer the phone when Robert Minkoff called. There are those numbers. If you feel lonely, you call the number. So when he called and liked her, so he started because they're very exclusive. Maybe that was a high-end 800 number thing. So he used to say, I want number 10. So
hi, we're 18 and we're looking for you to come play with us.
She did how they met. We just assumed that they met through the sex operation.
She said receptionist. She definitely said receptionist.
Yeah, she said it's giving Pretty Ricky. It's giving Pretty Ricky on the hotline. So listen, let's say our thoughts on actual Crystal because I'll say my thoughts first. And then we'll go to Kaya, Lost Love, Mel, Not Paid, and of course, Candy to round it out, right? Let's go Crystal. My issue with Crystal is she is an inner mean girl, first of all, right? But also to the fact of, did you see how even on the boat trip, because I'm really big into watching people's body language. I literally am a watcher. You don't think I'm watching you because I'm busy talking and this and that, but I like seeing people's body language out the corner of my eye. The way Crystal was leaned into Erika, the way that she was so happy to be on her thing, but the way when Erika started being nice to Sutton, Crystal, very calculating, saw that the pieces were being moved around the chessboard, and that's when she wanted to go and be like, Sutton, we're okay, right? This and that. Because now in the mean girl circle, anyone that Erika is cool with, she needs to be cool with. I used to think that she was weak, like just running around, but I now realize Crystal is just very
Fake.
what's the word? No, not fake, but also very calculating.
Manipulative.
She's always the
Manipulative, but also calculating. Because you can be manipulative, but I see manipulative people where they only want to manipulate the emotion in that moment. Crystal's very calculating, where she's always trying to collate power. She's always looking to get more power, seeing where it goes, trying to see. And the thing is with Crystal, she reminds me a bit of, who is it?
she's a
Who's
groupie.
that person?
She's
Not
a
a
groupie.
groupie, but here's the thing. She's that groupie you would think, but I see her personality. She's literally trying to gather as much power as she can, because when she can, she will take a shot at the throne. But she's also smart enough to know I'm not close enough to take a smart shot at the throne. But I do see her that, like, in a year or two, if you have enough people on your side, you'll try to dethrone Erika or whoever you think is in top B. She's not content to be. She's just always calculate. She's like, ooh, Littlefinger on Game of Thrones, the whispers, this, the that. Yes, but at the end of the day, you're literally trying to move power around so that you can take it. That's what she reminds me of. But let me hear your thoughts on Crystal.
Okay, I was supposed to go first. I think you're still working. She's calculating, but I also think you're working with someone who's already discussed her issues of wanting to assimilate to white culture, and that's obviously playing a very big part here. So, I think it's interesting that you said the mean girl part, because at first I was like, maybe it's just like, wanting to be cool with like the cool white girls. But I do see the mean thing, because first she was lashing out to Kathy, because Kathy and Sutton, as we know, are the ones with the money and the influence. But in the social circle of the cool girl, Kathy's more of like kind of like the matriarch, but not necessarily the cool girl. And then it was weird how all of a sudden you see Crystal kind of being with Kathy because they're friends, and kind of latching onto Kyle. And now she seems to separate herself from both of them, and now she's all under Erika. We have seen her now with almost as many scenes with Kathy as she has been with Erika, but that was only after Erika showed her power that everyone was afraid of her.
Okay.
It didn't seem like a natural progression. It seemed like once Erika staked her claim, like, you all know that you bow down to me in the sense of like, I'm the feared one. That's when Crystal was like, okay, you are it. So I think you're right. She saw the chess pieces moving, but I don't know how that follows through when Erika's not even being truthful in the group. So she's in the confessional saying, I still hate her. So for me, if you are hugging up on Sutton, because Erika didn't do that. Erika said, the door is kind of open. We had a moment. It wasn't anything. But then Crystal made a moment. You got up. You walked over. You hugged her. You laughed. So I'm confused about that. And I don't know how Crystal is talking with Erika when Crystal's breaking down, crying about her father having dementia. And you see this one playing in your face about dementia.
I know what you did that. I know. I'm not Crystal at all. Yeah, like I said, like she changed just right after Erika. She opened the door and started talking to Sutton. I didn't mean weakness. I meant exactly what you said. She's calculated. Let's not forget the S in Sutton is the dollar sign. And I will double down on the executives giving a warning to Erika to change, or some guidance. HR talk to her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Physical safety is a thing. And these are employees at Bravo. When I say it doesn't need to be NBC, and maybe it is, but they must have talked to her and say, listen, you would be liable if something happens to her. Even if it's not, if it's an unrelated accident, it can be, you can be accused of that because you threatened her physically on camera, and she requested security. We know that now. We didn't know when they were filming, but now we know that she had security from that day till the reunion. And Sutton has money and has power. Nobody wants to have Sutton be suing them. No one. So this is why Miss Crystal Minkoff, Lion King, which is more like Ratatouille in my eyes right now, she changed her tune because she knows Sutton has money and has power. And for Erika to change her tune 180, it's not because she's just doing a victory lap. Part of that might be, but it's really because she got a call say, hey, you're going to cause us problems here. we are with mean girls ganging up, bullying like they did with Denise, but physical threat, that's another layer, and it's not acceptable. You have to stop. So this is why she changed.
Okay, that's a good theory. Let's go to Lost Love and then let's go to Mel. What do you think, Lost Love?
Honestly, I agreed with. Is it Kyra?
Yes,
Is
or
that
Kai.
your
Either one.
Hi. I totally agree with what you were saying because, like, imagine just, I mean, not imagine. Remember last episode where Crystal, she almost looked kind of prideful telling Sutton, well, the door is closed with Erika. Like, how are you going to go from the door is closed to now the door is open again? I don't understand. And also, like, I really don't have that much of a big opinion on Crystal because I feel like she really has no storyline to offer after the whole, like, Sutton violated me thing. Because after what she did to I understand her and Garcelle were playing around or whatever, but what she was,
Oh, yeah. Can
I
you
don't know
send
if you
them?
guys remember that scene
Thank you.
with her and Garcelle and she was on top of Garcelle. Like, I don't know. If I wasn't friends with Crystal, anybody could have easily taken that moment as, oh, I feel violated because you jumped on top of me and were humping me or whatever the heck it
That
was.
was
I
weird.
don't, yeah. That's why I really just have no opinion on her. She's really just been like a background character. Like, we really don't know much about Crystal. We know about Rob Minkoff, but we don't know about Crystal. We just know
But
she
Garcelle,
has a pop star brother that,
Okay, so then Mel, what about you? What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think that Crystal, again, like I think everybody was saying, that she's really not that, again, not that strong of a character, and she is wishy-washy. I wouldn't say she really stands in her power or her truth, whatever. She goes whatever the wind blows or whatever, wherever the power goes, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really see her. I really don't think about her that much. She, the episode goes on and she comes in with something mean every now and then for whoever is in the hot seat. Usually the people who are unpopular, who's not really going against, who's going against Erika. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. I think that she's not really. She's maybe I would say boring. Maybe I think
You
good word.
know, it's not that I don't dislike her. It's just the fact that I don't know. I've had interactions with people like Crystal in my life, and I can just see how dangerous she is. Hold on, guys. That's my doorman. I'm gonna mute my mic. You guys.
I'll go.
Yeah, Miss
I'll
Candy,
go.
go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to Crystal, I actually think that she is very triggered by Sutton. Because if you listen to what Crystal has said, and this is all the things that she said. I'm not like putting words in her mouth or anything like that. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what she said. She said that she's had an eating disorder in the past. She really wanted to be thin. She said in her confessional, like growing up as Asian American and her parents were immigrants and they faced racism and she grew up in a predominantly white area. She thought that she wanted to assimilate and fit in. She wanted to be blonde and blue-eyed and she wanted, wealth, American dream and all of that. And I think that is essentially what everything Sutton represents. And I think that really triggers her. And I think that's why, remember that famous scene where she's like, you're jealous? I think she was projecting. I think there's a core part of Crystal that is jealous of Sutton. And that's why Sutton was like, jealous about what? Your ugly leather pants. So I think that there's something about Sutton that really triggers Crystal in a big way, which is different from her relationship with Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton obviously is like Queen Bee. And I think also Crystal very much is a classist and elitist. I think status means a lot to her. I think money means a lot to her. So of course she wants to butter up to Kathy. And again, I think the fact that Kathy was co-signing Erika, because remember when they had that tiny the four of them, it was Crystal, Erika, Kathy, and Garcelle. And Kathy was saying how what Sutton said doesn't matter and all this stuff. And they were kikiing like, well, we didn't know Sutton at the country club. Nobody knew her, blah, blah. They were doing all that kiki. So I think that since Kathy was co-signing Erika's BS, Crystal's a follower. So she wanted to follow that as well. And then once Erika was trying to save her job and it was just like, we're cool, Sutton. Crystal was like, let me fall when Erika, let me fall in line with that. So I really think that at her core, Crystal is very triggered by Sutton.
Okay, I agree with you that she is triggered, but I have a little different thing. She is triggered by Crystal, but I believe, I'm sorry, she is triggered by Sutton. But I believe that Sutton triggers her for a different reason. I think that when Crystal's personality is a little bit kooky naturally, right? She's a bit of an oddball, right? Just kooky. I'm kooky too, so I recognize it. Like, you're a little bit of an oddball. I feel like she tried this so much to fit in, to show how she matched. Sutton is an oddball too, but Sutton leans into it. Sutton's like, that's what makes me special. Did I have access to D&G Couture and I still don't match, right? That's what makes her like Sutton, right? She literally leans into what makes her different. She leans into her kookiness. I'm sure Sutton, because you can tell she always had that zany personality. I'm sure she was dragged a lot when she was younger, this and that. And she's developed this thing where, like, it's just me. I don't care if you don't like it. I like it. I think she triggers Crystal where Crystal sees her own awkwardness reflected at her. And she finds it repulsive because Crystal's done everything she can to fit the cookie cutter mold. That's what I mean about Crystal.
Yeah.
She's pushed herself into that mold as best she can. But when she sees Sutton, which triggers her because it's disgusted by that because she hates it in herself, she's also triggered because Sutton is like, and I don't care. And now she wants to destroy that. She feels the need to crush it because it is unacceptable. True, it could be because, like, Sutton is what she wants to be, or maybe she does feel like that. Like, you have everything you should.
But I agree with you.
It. Yeah, you're.
I think we're saying the same thing. I think everything that Sutton is and how it represents is what Crystal wished she could embody, and that's why she's so triggered by it.
But even if Sutton looked like me, right? I
don't think so.
I still think Crystal would still great because Crystal has tried so much to fit into the cookie cutter that seeing somebody that is free to be themselves. Sutton doesn't care if people mock her. She don't care if people laugh at her. She doesn't care if people play her. I mean, she'll sort of look like, all right, bitch, I caught that. But she lets it go. I mean, if I had that much money too, I'd be like, whatever, right? But she lets it go. But we are saying the same thing. She is definitely triggered by her. But I think it's because the parts of her that she's tried to kill off, the parts that she's most ashamed of, that caused Crystal the most hurt growing up, I think Sutton embodies that in a grown-up form. And Crystal's like, that cannot exist because Crystal killed herself to fit into her mold, telling her that the way you are naturally is not acceptable, so you have to kill it off. And now to see someone come and prove you could have been yourself the whole time and probably been even more successful. It's just something that she's not willing to reconcile with. But
I agree with that. But I think the psychological aspect of that is the reason why she's so triggered by that in Sutton is because Sutton actually looks like that. Like, I think Crystal feels like if I looked like that, then I could be me. But because I don't look, yeah, go ahead. But because I don't look like that, I have to do other things in order to assimilate. So I think I think we're saying the same thing, but I do think I think if Sutton had that same personality in a different body, I don't think it would trigger Crystal as much because Crystal said it herself. She said she wanted to be thin, blue-eyed, blonde, and rich.
I get it, but that's when she was young. But I really think now it's because of the money. They're all jealous of Sutton because she can invite and pay for each head $10,000, and if you don't, okay. So I feel like, I feel like money is at the core of everything. I think about the jealousy that Crystal has towards Sutton. Although she's wealthy, her husband is wealthy. She's not wealthy.
Ooh, Sutton's not wealthy?
Wait, you mean Crystal?
Crystal is not wealthy.
Oh, doesn't she have a water line? A $25 million water line?
Yeah, cocoa water.
No, it's
Have you guys ever tried her coconut water or heard of it?
You have?
Is it good?
Is it good?
I feel like she is jealous of the money. Her husband has money. It's not her money. It's all, even she said when she was renovating and dropping the numbers of the renovation of the basement, she said, well, Rob says he worked hard for his money and he wants to spend it. So there's that. I'm 100% sure there's a prenup somewhere there. And I feel like just now, although like she's divorced, but there is an aspect of Sutton, although she may appear fragile and quirky, she's very powerful. That woman can buy all of them. All of them.
True. To just answer your question, I have tried Cocoa Real. It reminded me of, I thought I did it while I was in New York. It really reminded me of when you go into like the upscale bodegas and you're like, where the hell is the Vita Coco? Why am I paying $6 for this coconut water? I mean, I did. But it tastes just like regular with coconut chunks, nothing special.
Yeah.
They need to put some sugar in there, like whatever. It's not like that kind harvest that's like the pink coconut water. That's
Oh, I
good.
love that.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
So expensive, but so worth it.
It is. I literally splurged, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? That like the 16-ounce one or 32-ounce one is like literally. I don't know why I feel like it's like $24.99, some crazy amount.
Wow.
And I was sitting there drinking liquid gold. I'm like, every penny.
All these electrolytes.
What is the name?
It's got. So I think it's real, not real cocoa. What's the one? Kind Harvest like, coconut water.
It's
Kind
Harvest, and it has like the green on it.
Yes,
and it's a white label.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the best
coconut.
Yes, it's the way of the best waste of money ever.
Endorsement.
Ever, literally.
No, sponsorship. Get them to sponsor you.
It's my new sponsorship. But I will say that when it comes to Crystal, yeah, Sutton does have more money. Her husband, like literally, he was responsible for literally extraction capitalists in the Latin American markets. Like it's $1 trillion fund. Yeah, multi-trillion-dollar fund. So they're doing well. And Sutton and him built that up. That company they had was bought by the $1 trillion fund. They are big stakeholders. Sutton owns 2 baseball teams. She didn't even know she owned. She was like, oh, Sutton is richer than anyone on there, including Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton is rich. Sutton is wealthy. They're not going to be able to spend that money in 1, 2, or 3 generations. They are set. Now, I will say, what did you guys think of the boat when Erika was talking about what she needs in life? She needs somebody to shut up. That's what she needs, right? What did you think of that thing? So there was a scene on the boat where Erika was like, when they were talking about, have you ever pegged someone? And Sutton was like, I mean, not Sutton. Erika was like, I mean, I would. If the partner wanted it, I would. Everybody's just like, oh, well. She's like, but my problem is, I need somebody to shut the F up. That's the problem. These people don't want to shut the F up. And I was looking like, is Erika's Prozac and champagne mixing wrong? Like, girl, stop.
For me, I thought she was having post-traumatic stress. Like, is that what some of your John said in the past? I mean, I don't know what's going on.
No, she said her problem is that she can't get people to shut up. She's like, I don't care what we do, but I can't get you to shut up about it. Like, we need to be discreet. And she was talking with bass in her voice as if one of the guys she's messing around with was like doing little whispers like, yo, I hit that. It was so odd. And I'm like, I've never seen a woman who's been married for 20 years talk about the way she needs her lovers to be more discreet with so much veracity.
I am talking to Erika, Sutton, or if she was actually talking about people who know what's going on at the time, whatever, maybe they are starting to talk, whatever, and she was just like burst out of the seams.
I don't know.
Well, maybe she was talking about maybe she was talking about her text messages, because you know what, I think that. So what I don't think about conspiracies that much, but I will say this: when I saw that scene,
I live them.
I do all the time.
Misty, I know you do, honey. I know. You know what I think that for me. So I'm gonna join the club. I'm gonna join the conspiracy club. What I think when I saw that scene right there was that this woman was admitting that she was not celibate for 20 whatever years in this marriage. I think she maybe was saying that she is, she's ultra discreet, and maybe that she just have other people who maybe will put some heat on her when, maybe she would text her and say, listen, if you don't come see me or don't do this or whatever, I'm gonna start talking. Maybe that's sort of what she's talking about. Maybe in that moment she got a text in her hotel room about what they might divulge, whatever. So I think that I think she was talking about her. Yeah, I think she was talking about her secret life of these extramarital hookups or entanglements. I think that's probably what's happening.
You know what? Let me take a quick moment and give wait, hold on, Candy. I just want to take a quick moment and give a shout out to all the Tattle Tells in the chat. Minerva, what's going on? One tall girl. Hey, and also I'm going to give a shout out to Sharon. Any other Tattle Tells in the chat? No. So let's take this opportunity to ask. We have Lisa Simmons. What's up? And then we have Mior Candle Company. What's up? Listen, let's have a quick infomercial because I want to know why there are only 4 or 5 Tattle Tells in the chat. Listen, I have a membership on my channel. It is $4.99. What we're doing is we're going to start having members only live chats. The first one is either going to be this Friday or Saturday. Not only is it going to be members only, but it's going to be a private live chat. So you guys can feel free to come on in video. It won't be broadcasted across YouTube, but I just want to say that what I'm going to also start sharing in my chats are, listen, when I bring you guys tea, I have it independently verified by 3 sources, right? Quiet as is kept. Sometimes when I've gotten real tea, I'll actually inbox these people and be like, would you like to make a comment, right? They always never respond back, but I do my journalistic integrity. I always like to have at least 3 independent sources verifying my tea. Now, that's the tea I bring to you guys. There is tea I have, and it's a lot of it from my little, little whispers, little snooping around that have maybe 1 source or 2 source. It's not enough to bring it live, but it's enough that I can share with my Tattle Tells. So I'll bring I'm going to have my tarot cards there because, I like to read a bitch on tarot cards. But we'll have the tarot, there'll be gossip. It'll be a great thing. And it's going to be either, I promise once a month, but you know me, I like to under promise and over deliver. So it'll probably be around 2 or 3 times a month where we do have these members only private live chats. Yes. And it's only $4.99 a month. So you guys, come on. Forget about your rent money. Forget about your baby's formula. Your boyfriend or husband does not need a birthday gift. Focus, people. Focus. Okay.
Your
Focus,
tea
guys.
verified. It's just like candles. 3 wick.
3 wick? I'm giving y'all the 1 wick. That's right, Miriam. I'm giving you guys the 1 wick candle that's going to light the room up, right? The 3 wick is what we put on for YouTube for everyone. So if anybody wants to be a part of these member-only live chat, the only thing I have is whatever we talk about in the live chat has to stay in the live chat. It's a circle of trust, But otherwise than that, okay, so back to our regular scheduled programs. Continue. Sorry about that. Just had to do my little infomercial.
No, that was a good. Everybody join. But what I was going to say, I think Erika was probably talking about Scooter Braun. He is the manager of Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. He had ties to Taylor Swift because when she moved to her, when she downgraded to her big West Hollywood mansion, she moved next door to Scooter Braun. And so word on a curb, allegedly, I don't have 3 sources. I just have like Us Weekly or People or whatever it was. They were saying that it was alleged that Erika and Scooter were having an affair. And then it came out that Scooter and his wife are separated and getting a divorce. So maybe she was talking about Scooter should have kept his mouth shut and he wouldn't be getting a divorce. But it's Scooter Braun. He's like that manager guy with like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift. He's like in that world. And she lives next to him now.
Or she could have been doing that and throwing jobs at Sutton. Like she was giving hints. Just shut the fuck up. Don't talk.
Scooter's getting divorced. Yeah.
Scooter is getting divorced. Scooter got more money than Tom Girardi. Time to jump over. Like, come on, Erika. Do I have to teach you how these things
No, Erika is now dating that guy, Sheldon. What's his name? Sheldon Adamson? The casino guy?
No, I think she's actually messing around with Steve Wynn. I don't think she's messing around with Sheldon.
You think it's Steve Wynn?
I do think it's Steve. I do. I think she even showed up at Sheldon's casino, like opening or whatever that thing opening was.
Yeah.
To throw people off the trail. Because what better way to make people think you're not messing with A than to be like, oh no, but did you see
we're hanging out with B?
Exactly.
Fallon.
Look, she showed up because if she was her sugar baby, and if she was really messing with someone, that guy, she wouldn't have showed up at that opening. She would not have. Yeah. Erika's smart enough to know how to keep it discreet. She's smart enough to know. And when she showed up, I was like, yeah, you're messing around with Steve Wynn. You're even trying to throw people off the trail. But that's my whole thing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'll let you know if I pull up to the Wynn Hotel here in Boston, I magically somehow run into Erika Jane.
And if you do, and you post it online, Erika's going to come up with some dumb lie. Because you ever notice whenever she gets called to the table, she always comes up with, and just last night, Tom had an aneurysm. Something always happened the night before that explains why she was a see you in next Tuesday at the table acting crazy. Ugh. It's always some
He
story.
stubbed his pinky toe.
I didn't say anything because
He has a hangnail.
to each other, but
He
that's
has
what
pink eye.
And Kyle, really? So Tom, he's from Mars? Oh my God. How do you feel about that?
Boys.
Can we talk about how Kyle is such a sucky friend, though? Like, remember that scene where Erika was okay, let's take it back to that scene, actually, with Erika telling the story and her just being open and how everyone was just laughing hysterically. That was the fakest scene I've ever witnessed in my life. It was faker than scripted TV, okay? Like, I don't understand how they were all laughing like she was being theatrical. Like, I wasn't even laughing. I don't know if it was just me, but watching that scene, I was watching it with a straight, like, what in the world face. What else was I gonna say? Like, when she said mommy's broke and paying the bills and they all started cackling like it was the funniest thing ever, but like, was it funny? And then she proceeds,
Erika, it gave the richest man in the room's wife, right? Mary had a little lamb. Oh my God.
It was weird. I'm not sure if any of you ever watch any David Lynch. So in some of his pictures, the characters just smile for no reason, just with these big old grins. And they were all just sitting in a group smiling. It was almost like, what is going on? Are you possessed by some demon or something? What is going on? Why are you all smiling for this boring jokes? And I think that also with Kyle, because I'm glad you brought it up, because we didn't touch her at all. We got everybody else together. Cal, every chance she can get to marginalize or minimize Sutton for no reason, she will take it. Even I think I didn't say this last week when she was saying, "Oh, you broke your foot," or whatever. Let me see a picture. I'm thinking if any woman with self-respect would have told the woman right there, she would probably cuss out. Said, "Listen, I'm not going to show you my foot. I'm not proving. And why would you ask me to prove myself about my broken foot? But you ain't going to ask Erika to prove anything this whole season." So I think that
Kyle's jealous of Sutton and Sutton's money. Even
though annoying. Kyle is so
with her putting her foot on the coffee table.
Yeah,
saying,
come on.
You're in a small town. It doesn't seem like you have big city manners because her injured foot that she has to elevate. She put on a coffee table. It's like Kyle.
Yeah, so Dorit. Yeah, so Dorit will nag. We all seen it. So Dorit will nag Garcelle for no reason. Renna will say she didn't apologize for a sauce or whatever, or say sorry, or say thank you for a sauce. And now Sutton is called weak and called wanting to show her foot. I mean, come on. I mean, that part was very annoying. Every chance. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, sorry. W17 wants to know how these women get men so easy. It's simple.
Ooh, wait a minute.
You just have to be around where they are. You are not going to find a Rob Minkinoff if you're at the corner bar or going to the club or going. Listen, you're going to find somebody that's in your social. That's why you become a bartender or waitress or whatever. Again, you can't guarantee anybody's going to fall in love, but it's like being in college and then saying, well, how did you find a college educated man? I was in college. There was nothing but college educated men around. You see what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people, if you move, you become a bartender, you become this. Not saying everybody you're throwing your number around, but all of a sudden you're around people that you normally wouldn't. And again, in life, it doesn't matter whether somebody has $1 billion or whether they have one. Everybody connects with who they connect with, right? Literally, you mess up by wasting time on people that's just not clicking. You're trying to chase a guy or woman that has what you want. So you keep hitting your head against the wall when literally you need to keep it moving, because the minute you click on someone that digs you and vibes with you, it doesn't matter whether they have $1 million or $1. They're going to just vibe with you. I think that's how people mess up. People get fixated. No, I need this person. Money, beauty, intelligence, humor. I'm on my soapbox, but it's so weird the way we don't realize everybody is replaceable. But that also means that everybody has a bunch of different matches, right? You're funny, you're beautiful, you're rich, you're tall, you're short, whatever it is.
Thank you.
No, I'm just saying. Everybody has not just their match, but multiple matches. Just keep it moving until you find someone that has what you want, treats you the way you want, and then boom. And they'll find you. But that's I'll get off my.
Well, no, but Tisa, when are you going to write? Tisa, when are you going to write this? I was going to say, Tisa, when are you going to write this ebook about dating, about how to find a rich husband? I need you to write it real quick.
Girl. I mean, Erika was a waitress, and that's how she met Tom.
Yeah.
You guys.
I don't know if you guys ever saw The Real Housewives of Dallas.
We're gonna start having dating lives where I dating coach people.
I love it.
Can I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'm the guinea pig. Find me some.
Me too.
Another thing, if you are trying to find, but it's hard, like I'm not into art. I'm into abstract art. I'm into art I like and I think it's pretty, but I'm not into walking into museums and being like, "Oh my God, this is beautiful." I'm not into like I'll go to the MoMA sometimes. I'll go to the Sophia Prada. Go to the Prada. I mean, I'll go every now and then, but after I'm like, "All right, anyway, where's the bar? This is dumb, right?"
They're all old people.
No, but that's not true. That's not true. A lot of people that are born into money. You see, here's the thing. Rich people like art because art separates them from everyone. Anyone can buy a Rolls Royce. Anyone can buy an Hermes belt. But who has like a piece of art hanging in their house? And so one of the way they learn to separate themselves, like, oh, you belong, it's like if you have an appreciation of art, modern art, fine art. But if you can sit there and talk about art the way you talk about football teams, right? It attracts a certain type of person. So honestly, hanging out into art, going to Sotheby auctions where they let people preview stuff before the auction happens. Usually, if you go to Christie's or Sotheby's in New York, everything they're going to auction off in 3 weeks, they have everything out. People go and walk it because it's priceless art. It's this, it's that. Sometimes it's modern art. They don't always have big auctions. But the people that can afford to be there, that are interested in there, are actually there. It's interesting. But the thing is, this is the last thing I'll say. The thing is, you got to be careful what you wish for because you can't fake it and go. But that said, if you're not into art, don't fake like you're into art because then you're going to be stuck with somebody. It's just like every Saturday, come on, there's a new exhibit at Christie's. Silicon Valley, there's a lot of tech people. And this goes for men and women. Like, it's really, but anyway, I digress. Let's get back to what we're talking about.
Can I say about the show? I was saying that I think honestly that Kyle was doing a power move. I don't think they were laughing with Erika. I think they were laughing at Erika. That's why Kyle kept poking for her to talk. It felt like to me like a circus animal putting on a show. Because for me personally, I think they're all kind of like cackling. The fact that Kyle's on What Just Happened live with Annie, like, oh yeah, we heard about it. You heard about it, but you still let your friend prop herself up like she was big, bad, tall on this TV show just for her to come crashing and burning down, and then for you to put up a front that you believe her, and then your confessionals dogging her out. I think Kyle at the most is dog walking her in private and having the cackle of her life. I think that's what that is. As for the dating thing, I am a young Black immigrant female, and I love the dating. You're very much so right about that. I went to a very much so affluent PWI. Literally, the girls went there to go be teachers just to get Mrs. degrees to get the guys at the business school.
RMS. You're not here for anything but your RMS. I remember that.
Yes. Okay. And I know all about like, don't if you don't like the art, don't do the art. I make sure to talk about. I'm a classical violinist. I make sure to talk about the music. I like the stocks. I'm a nerd. You talk about the things you actually like. Just make sure that you talk about it like you're really educated in it, and they'll fall for it every time. I've get quite a few Colombian men, computer engineering and all that kind of stuff. It's been a great time.
For some reason, Latin American men are really big on me too. Really, really big. I don't know what it is.
Tisa, you're gorgeous. I think men across the board will be big on you.
That's
like
right.
You're fine, sweetheart. Yes, you're a universal classic beauty. You're fine.
No, but I'm just saying, Kaya, I know what you're talking about. It's so funny where it's like Latin America, Colombian, Venezuelan.
Saudi Arabian men, Middle Eastern men, they love me.
I don't mess with Middle Eastern guys. Sorry.
No, because they love going to school for
why not?
Engineering. They love going to school for engineering. They love the paycheck.
Middle Eastern guys and Middle Eastern people, men and women that I know, very beautiful people, but everyone I know that's dated them, whether they are a man or a woman, they have such strong ties to their family that like when you date them, you really do, for it to progress, you have to be approved by the whole family. And usually, unless you are also Middle Eastern, it doesn't matter how beautiful, how handsome, how much money, they're just like, no, you're never going. Go on, Miriam. Let us know. Come on, Miriam. You're
yeah, come on.
Come on, Miriam.
No, I agree with you. I remember when George Clooney said something like he went to Lebanon to visit because Amal, she's Lebanese. And it's like everybody was talking to him, like they know him. And then I remember I posted, does that mean that now we're relatives? Like, yeah, you married.
Yes.
And I married the whole country. I'm like, does that mean that he married me?
Yes.
Yeah, we are like that. It's a family affair. It's a lot. Yeah, stay away.
I'm fine.
Listen,
Indian African cultures and Caribbean cultures, it's the same. So I'm fine with that.
yeah, so when you ask somebody what is your type, right? Whoever treats me like a little perfect princess, I remember like literally somebody would yell at me and be like, but I thought you were my perfect princess. I don't believe in struggle love. I don't believe in anything. I want someone to be like, yes, time to be pampered. Thank you. I deserve it. More ice cream, please. Thank you. Can you hold it? Thank you. Yes, I have had a hard life. It's like I feel like in relationships, that's the one time it should be play. It should be fun. It should be like really your best friend. I mean, granted, when I was younger, of course, right?
And we've all been, well, most of us
When
have
someone's
been.
taking you through mess, you swear you're like, it must be love because why do I feel like crap when they're not around? Then you get it like a little common sense a few months later. It's like, oh, because I'm being mentally abused. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so
yeah, love does not hurt.
It doesn't.
Love doesn't hurt.
What's love with it? What's love?
So let me ask you guys a question, right? What do you think is going to pan out in the season finale? What do you think is going to pan out? And I ask this all the time. What do you also think is going to happen at the reunion? I'll go first. I think that Bravo is going to drop the ball again and go easy on Erika. And the way that everybody is starting to say, oh, I felt for Erika, makes me think that Bravo was like, stop it, be a little nicer to her, let this go. And they got their marching orders. I do know that like whenever Bravo plays ball with somebody, you have to start, one, being nice to their favorites, but two, they're very, very selective in like, you're now very selective in what you can say, which is fine, right? Which is fine. But I think that Bravo is making them play ball. Again, Candy, you were the one that bought me this conspiracy theory, and I did actually research it. Candy is great, and she was right. I talked about this before. There's rumblings that the way Erika even got. Actually, Candy, why don't you go and tell the story since you're the one that tells it best?
I'll tell it. Okay, so again, conspiracy theory, alleged. But there was rumblings that NBC was going easier on Erika because during the time that she was being courted for the show, Tom Girardi had taken on a case with these two writers and producers, and they basically came up with a show. It was about like ghost hunting or something like that, and they pitched it to NBC. So NBC Universal owns Bravo. That is their channel. That is their network, whatever. And essentially Tom Girardi said, well, if I scratch your back, will you scratch mine? Cast my wife on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'll make this little lawsuit go away for you. Apparently that happened. All of a sudden, these two producers who thought they had, this hot shot lawyer, he can't lose. They're going to get their day in court. They're going to get their settlement money. All of a sudden, their little lawsuit was dismissed quietly, and they got no money, no day in court, and Tom Girardi just let it go. And then all of a sudden, we got Erika Girardi / Erika Jayne premiering and debuting on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I think that's a big reason why NBC / Bravo was playing softball with Erika, because they don't want that to come out. And then you also have to remember, I think a lot of people were protecting Tom. We got back, again, I think the whole Erika Jayne flashiness, I think that's a red herring. A lot of people also were protecting Tom because they don't want when he scratched their back to come out. And that's now, I don't think it's the California State Bar. I think it might be the federal, I think now, wants all of his stuff to come out. Like all of the...
I can actually go into that. It's still California. What's going on with California? That is, the State Bar usually keeps, whenever there's complaints against lawyers, they keep them confidential because they're resolved, so they are confidential. Plus, they don't want people to do a pile-on. Tom Girardi's been getting complaints for the last 30 years. The State Bar came out and said, we dropped the ball. The LA Times wants access to that information. So they sued to get it. The California Bar said, no. This case actually got put up in the California Supreme Court. This is a state court. California Supreme Court doesn't usually rule on these type of things. But they literally came down and said, yeah, makes sense because something's going on.
That's what I was talking about, the Supreme Court.
This is a matter of public interest. The Bar Association, and this is going to be juicy, the Bar Association hit back and said, no, you can't do this. The California Supreme Court was like, listen, we need to also keep our faith in the system. So you're going to have to actually say what happened. But you know what? We'll let you show cause. They did a show cause order. The show cause is saying to the Supreme Court is saying to the California Bar, we're giving you time, and I believe the time is either October 1st or October 31st. I think it's October 1st. We're giving you time to show cause that you have a legitimate reason that overrides the public interest to keep these records private. Because whenever you say something, something has to always be balanced out in the interest of the public good. So the California Supreme Court says it is going to help the public more than not to make this information public. Now, show cause as to why that shouldn't happen. And I believe they have until October 1st. If they cannot show cause, and I don't think they can.
I don't think they can either.
I think that it's going to rip it open, because then we're going to see where the bodies are buried. Everyone that's made a complaint, everybody that was settled, everything, but not only that, everybody that Tom had in his pocket, it's going to come out.
Exactly. And that is why he's so protected. And I also think the California Bar, I don't know how to make them liable, but their hands are not clean. There's no way. That's why they're fighting it so hard. Their hands are not clean. He's been paying people off for decades. There's no way they turned a blind eye into him. And then also all of the loans he was getting, he was using the same exact collateral for each and every loan. That was also completely messed up. So it's all about to come out and blow up. That's why I think the whole Erika Jayne stuff, that's just a red herring to keep us distracted. Go look at this little shiny thing over here. Don't actually look at the actual stuff that is going on. Don't look at the real stuff.
Sorry, Miriam, what were you saying?
Yeah, that's why she's outrageously and bluntly lying. She's doing what Trump did for 4 years. We would forget how things started because everybody tried to catch up. Oh, with the slide, then they would investigate the slide, and there's another lie. And by the way, what you just said right now, Candy, just proves my point that there's the direct line between the executives of Bravo and NBC and Erika.
100%.
100%. Their golden goose. They love the ratings that they're getting. They're cashing on this crime. It is a crime. We know a crime was committed. We know that. That's not alleged. The money not get to the hands of the victim. The money onto them. So that's why I'm saying, like, there is what we're gonna see. It's more gaslighting. It's more poor me, Erika, and everybody rallying around her. The only people who won't or will be from a distance will be Garcelle and Sutton. And somehow I don't think Crystal will be jumping to hug her in the reunion. That's fiction, because she's calculated and she sees that the tide is turning right now. And does Erika really know any skeleton in Crystal's closet? I don't think so, because they just met. Unless she has some mafia mob, like running, like Googling everybody. Just like Kathy said, I Googled all of you, so I know everything about you guys today in the boat.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. So let me tell you, so let's get also Mel, and then we'll get Lost Love, and then we'll get Kaya. Mel, what is your takeaway with this?
Well, I think that what we saw in the preview is that it doesn't seem like a very exciting season finale. I think they're going to ask a couple of questions, and I mean, Erika looks awkward. She looks like they're trying to pressure her to apologize to Sutton, and the reunion. Right. Well, maybe she's on the campaign to try to. Who knows? But okay, so the reunion. What I was reading, and again, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right that. It would be a disappointment, but I'm reading that Andy and her had an argument at the reunion, that they had a big argument. So I don't know if I don't know. So it might be a very interesting reunion.
But what did they have an argument about? Because as we see with Erika reminds me of me when I'm on my bullshit. Not the fact that I get like that, but when I'm on my bullshit, it's very hard to get me to apologize. Now, granted, I'll calm down in 2 days and then come humbly like, hey, sorry about that. I apologize, right? But when I'm on my bullshit, I could have literally just like assassinated a whole school bus. And I'll be like, And who's to say the children were innocent? Who knows what they would have grown up to be, right?
Right.
So when I get stubborn, it takes me a minute to calm down. When I hear Erika is arguing over something, I'm like, but what are you arguing over? Because Erika reminds me she's always on that bullshit. You could tell her you don't like her color eyeshadow, and Erika will go in. Like that's what I mean. I have to be riled up to get on my bullshit. Erika's always on bullshit. So to
Yeah, but
hear her and Andy,
yeah.
to hear her and Andy argue, I could see Andy being like, "So, do you think that the victims deserve their money?" And Erika will go in on them like she's always on her bullshit. So,
Yeah, but
but
I think
again,
that, but I'm scared too because I think that 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 maybe they might hide it. Maybe they did argue, or maybe it might be like Potomac, and we won't see it on air. So I think that could happen too. Maybe they did argue, but they just sort of were edited out. So
yeah, Bravo for some reason. Bravo for some reason, and I don't know why. You bring up a big point, and then we'll go to you, Lost Love. They are intent on keeping the real action off screen. I don't know if you guys saw my video. If not, you should go. Another shameless plug. But I did a thing on Kenya Moore and the way that
Mhm.
I did a thing on Kenya Moore and the way that she is Bravo. So here's the thing. I'll summarize the video. Kenya Moore asked True Entertainment, "Hey, can I do Dancing with the Stars?" They're like, "Yeah, whatever. It's the off season. Do you?" A lot of other housewives have done it. As a matter of fact, when Lisa Vanderpump was on Dancing with the Stars, they actually chronicled it. Kenya got on Dancing with Stars. The Bravo exec said no. As soon as she announced it, you can't do it. Kenya was like, "Not. Why not?" There was a little bit back and forth. Kenya has been confirmed to come back on season 14. But the odd thing is, they said, but guess what? You're not going to see Dancing with the Stars on Kenya's journey. To which I said, why when Kenya has a storyline and a good storyline and one I want to see because Kenya shared with everyone that one of the reasons why it's so important is because her and her grandmother, who raised her like her mom, used to watch Dancing with the Stars and it's bittersweet childhood dream. You know, I love a good childhood dream story, right?
Yeah.
So she said that's why she wanted. It's a great story. Brooklyn's there, seeing her balance it as a single mom, going through the divorce. And Bravo said you're not going to show that. So what is it going to be? Bravo now again trying to what? Put Mark on screen to embarrass her or make her be the villain or the bad guy. It's just odd to me that Bravo will have a story and they'll be like, no. Nobody wants to hear that. And then they'll leave, right? And then they'll come back with like some bullshit. So never, and my whole point is never underestimate Bravo. It's almost like that old joke where someone's like, oh look, $20 is on the floor, and someone's like, but I can't be bothered. My back hurts to pick up the $20. They get all these good things and they never show it. And I think they have a formula, but their formula doesn't work because we see it play out in social media. So by the time we even get it, we're like, we know this isn't reality. Why are we? It's like a husband and wife screaming in the street that they hate each other and all this other stuff. And you slept with this neighbor. Well, guess what? You slept with your secretary. And then like we all come to like a kumbaya, like, so let's talk about issues. And they're like, no, everything's perfect. And you're like, why are you keeping this meat off? So again, Mel, I hope, I pray, but I just think Bravo's going to find some way that's not going to give us what we want in
I
the
agree.
reunion. We don't want a lot.
I agree.
We don't want a lot. So Lost Love, what about you?
Honestly, I have no expectations for the season finale. I feel like it's just not going to live up to what we want it to be. Same as with like this whole 3-part, now 4-part reunion. Bravo loves monetizing on situations like this. It's kind of sad, but to them it's a money business, so I get it. I mean, it's entertainment, but I honestly don't believe that Andy and Erika had as big of an argument as they're trying to make it seem. I feel like they're just saying that to up the views for the reunion. Because from like the way I personally see it is that even after this 4-part reunion is over, we're gonna walk away with no real answers, and a lot of our questions are gonna be unanswered.
Why
for the money, literally for the money. It's like they probably see everybody talking about the show like more than this franchise has been on the headlines more than any other franchise like this year. So I mean, they have to monetize on it. I mean, Salt Lake City is Jen Shaw drama, and then what else do you have?
Not
NY
really, it's Brooks
didn't go
drama.
too well.
It's not Jen Shaw. It's Brooks.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's Brooks.
Not it's Brooks. Yeah.
It's not even
the Brooks one. But I feel
No,
like
these are good points.
if
I
it came
love
to
the points that you're making. So
and
do you think though that fan engagement, Lost Love, do you think that will help like really push them to where we need to be? Or like why do you think they're making these? And I know you don't know, but just guess. You know, I know you haven't been doing market research. None of us have, but just guess, you know.
for okay, so let me just start off with this so I can finish my last thought. See,
Okay,
like
go
with the whole it being 4-part, they're saying it's going to be 4-part because of Erika Jayne. So we should be expecting Erika Jayne to be answering these questions. But if we don't walk away with a lot of the answers we expected, one of the moves I think they're going to play is Erika Jayne is definitely going to acknowledge the victims this reunion because the fans have been, there's been an outcry from the fans, and it's about why isn't Erika acknowledging the reunion? I mean, the victims. What the heck am I
Don't
saying?
think she can do that.
And the thing is, and when she goes to acknowledge these victims, I don't think she's gonna be doing it because she wants to do it, but because her legal team has advised her to do it.
Did you
So
hear Rena today? She said exactly that. Lisa Rena.
yeah, she did actually. You're right, Miriam.
Did.
She did.
She said she's not mentioning the victims so that they not linked. She's trying to distance.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't think
Lisa
she'll.
Rena. Lisa Rena, she said exactly that Erika, she is not mentioning the victims so that she's not linked. The moment she acknowledges, she says victims, oh, poor victims, this and that, she's going to be linked and dragged into that. So she is separating herself from the whole thing. This is why she's under the advising of not mentioning them. And we knew that all along. That's what they're doing.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that.
She said today, you
I.
go and you will
Lisa,
see.
But
Lisa,
Lisa Rinna's a liar. I don't know if I believe Lisa Rinna. She
oh
might just
no,
be front. I think Lisa Rinna might be fronting for why Erika is just so lacks empathy for the victims. I actually think that her lawyers would probably advise her to show some type of humanity that
I
she
don't
just completely
know.
lacked
Oh
during
no,
this
no,
whole entire time. So I don't necessarily believe Lisa
no. I
Rinna when she
believe
says
that because
stuff.
that's what Erika's doing. Did you see her post on Instagram? The lawyers are doubling down, saying you go more, you be outrageous, so that no everybody talks about your outrageous behavior, your outrageous posts, and they don't talk about the crime. They want a distance. No, this is an instant. She's telling the truth because she's doing that. She's doing exactly that.
That's right.
also,
Welcome, Kenny, my little tattletale. Oh, and Kelly Steve. Welcome, my little tattletale. Sorry about that. Now, listen, Kaya, what about you? What do you think about this?
I like
Oh, hold
conspiracy
on really quick.
theories.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kaya. Kelly Steve had an interesting thing. He said all rumors about the reunion are PR plants. I would tend to
I
believe that.
agree with Callie.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Callie Steve. I would agree with you. And Kenny says that Rena has been playing dumb and watch what happened live. That's gonna be the reunion.
Yep.
With her gaslighting. Well, I don't
Gas, like,
understand. If
gas.
Eric killed babies, what is it to you? How does that affect your life? Why aren't you guys being good friends? It's gonna be gaslighting out the wazoo.
Yes,
Yep.
like
and we can't even
Kaya, sorry to
forget.
interrupt you, Mama. Go ahead and
No problem.
finish your
I
point.
can change back to my original spelling because my nickname is Kai, but I spelled it the way that Kai is pronounced in Korean. Anyway, I'm a weirdo.
Okay.
Basically, my conspiracy theory is that I think Tom and Erika spoke. I think Erika was supposed to help build his defense, but I truly don't think that Erika thought that Tom was going to go into conservatorship. I think she thought that she would file for a divorce, so it looked like she was separating herself from him, but she knew the divorce wouldn't be able to go through because this was all going to come out, so she would still have access to the accounts. But instead, the brother swooped in and has conservatorship. And so now, when you're really looking at it, the brunt of it all is on Erika. Look, yeah, we look for Tom and all that kind of stuff, and yes, he's been disbarred, but he doesn't really have to go to court. His brother shows up for him. Tom is chillaxing. Erika's the one having to go to court. Erika's the one having to track on the bills. She doesn't have a brother to be her conservator to pay for things. And now she's still trying to put up this front. And Tom, like, we haven't heard anything from Tom. Tom's like, oh, I think she knew. He's supposed to have dementia, so either he has dementia or he's throwing you under the bus, girl. Either way, I feel like she's been played. I truly think she was flabbergasted when that brother had conservatorship because I think she thought she would still have access. Because for all I don't think she planned this as smart because she thinks she's so smarter than everyone else. I truly don't think maybe any of those accounts she has like a lot of access to. I think the brother knows the secrets. Because now it doesn't make sense to me how he's in conservatorship and you're upset about him being in a home, but you had no problem dropping him off at work and then leaving him, even though you knew he's going to be, even though you knew he's mentally declined for the last 3 to 4 years. That does not make any sense. And now you're looking for where his children and his family are, which you need to shut up because people will open their mouths and start talking about you and about your gold digger past. So I think Tom has planned this to where she will set up his defense because he really doesn't have to put up a defense. She's doing all of the work. And now he gets to sit back. Now we'll have to be in court and his brother's handling everything. And Erika's the one now kind of being the face of this. Yes, we say Tom's name, but Erika's the face of this because we see now Erika sticking up for Tom. And we also know her path of spending all the money. We do know that Tom obviously had a lavish lifestyle, but the person we saw with the $100,000 ring on was Erika. The person we saw have the glam squads on business class going to Dubai was Erika. We saw her spending the money. So there's still that notion.
He made her the sole mentally capable person to be held accountable. She thinks she's smart pants. She is the dumbest of them all. She's the dumbest of them all.
Or she was married to the smartest. Listen, I'm a law-abiding citizen most of the time. But if I was going to get in a criminal mastermind shit, you guys would know. You'd be like, why isn't that girl in jail yet? You know? Or I'd be sitting there like on my Instagram, haters want to hate. Don't let the envy choke you, you know? Jealousy is a disease. So I think that Tom is a smart cookie. Erika's smart too. I think they're both guilty. But like you were saying, Kaya, and to your point, Miriam, the only thing I'm waiting to see at is like, who was the more culpable one? You guys are both trash. You're both culpable. You both knew. But I'm really interested to see. Yeah, you think Tom was the person that was the mastermind, and Erika was like his number two, or do you think they were more like 50-50?
I think Tom is the more culpable one because I think he was doing it prior to meeting Erika, maybe not on the scale, but also Tom is the one who had the obligation to his clients. He's the one who did the betrayal. So I think he's the one who stole from his clients. He's the most culpable person. I think she is also culpable. I don't think that she's innocent, but I think Tom is more culpable because it's like if I'm married to someone and he cheats on me with a woman, the person who's most culpable is my husband because he's the one who actually owes me something. He's actually the one committed to me.
But is that the best analogy?
It's not the best analogy, but I do think that Tom is more culpable because he's the one who stole from his clients.
Okay, but how about this? If you're married to a husband and your husband does a hit and run and you help bury the body,
you're as culpable as he is.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, technically, yes, your husband's the one that did the hit and run, but you help cover up the crime.
That's
there's no way she could have gone so long.
I think you can but I think we're saying the same exact thing. Like I don't think that she is innocent, but I think that when it comes to the question of who is more culpable, I think in my opinion, I think that Tom is more culpable because he was the one who betrayed his clients. I'm not saying she's innocent. I'm not saying she shouldn't be held accountable. But I do think that he betrayed his clients and she took part in the fruits. She took part in the fruits of what he was doing. So she's wrong in that too. But if he did not betray his clients, she would not have done anything wrong.
She wouldn't be.
I think it's because
married to him as long as she had something. She knew what Tom was doing. She knew that he was like how many like when someone of your family owes money and you hear and say, okay, I'll give you next week, I'll give you next month. In the Middle East, that happens a lot. So the whole family knows. So you're gonna tell me she didn't know? She was, as the moment she embarked in the crime, or she was profiting off of it, knowing maybe not everything like literally like every line, but she knew what he was doing. She is as culpable as he is because in the eyes of the law, in front of the law, being married, like the debt, the wealth is half and half, and the debt is half and half. And here, when he was like making all this money illegally and funneling into her LLC, she became as responsible as he was, because she was washing the money for him. She was kind of like, yeah, he's not giving money, he's funding my life, and this is the
I know. I was going to say, I know I've been quiet. I
I
was going to say,
some money and put it in the bank over there in the private jet. He
No,
was
that's a
using
good point.
her.
That's
yeah,
a
I
good
want
point, Miriam.
before
Miriam.
I was going to say before we laugh with Mr. QK, because I know his humor a little bit. So, but I wouldn't. Well, yeah, I know. Wait, before he make his jokes, I wanted to say something.
Devilish
So,
giggle. Oh God.
yeah,
He's like,
I know. I know Mr. QK's joke, but I
come on,
agree.
Mel.
I agree with Candy with this one point. So, like in this story, so we see Erika young. She meet this older man. She sit down and say, "Hey, Big Daddy. Now you know in 20 years we go. Hey, Big Daddy. We going in 20 years we're going to sit down. We're going to scan burn victims. This is how we're going to. I'm going to set it out. Now I don't think that happened. I think what happened was
Yeah.
Tom. He went around, started scamming people. Eventually, she found out, and she went along for the ride, and she enjoyed it. I think she enjoyed it. Now, is that a crime that she enjoyed it? I'm sure there's ways to,
With knowledge, it is a
the,
crime.
no, what I was going to say this, Miriam. I was going to say this because I was listening. I just want to say one quick thing. So that's what I was saying with Candy in that part, only that part. So again, I would go back to the Breaking Bad analogy. Walter White, he was the crime. He did all the crimes, and then Skylar eventually found out she saw hiding things. She was just as guilty. She made a deal, and so that happened. I think that with Erika is the same thing. She knew about the things, but like I was saying just now to Candy, I don't think she sat down at the table and know this man from nowhere and say, "Hey, big dad, let's set this scheme. Let's start scheming." No, she went along for the ride, and he did everything. He signed the papers. He did this, and then he took her along, and she enjoyed it. So that's just
That's
how.
literally why.
Okay, so
Every
you
time I
guys,
see
really
her
quick.
crying, she's not crying tears for the victim. She's literally crying because her life is crumbling.
Of
She had this
course,
plan
yeah,
and it's
that's
falling
just the kind of
apart,
woman
and
she
she's
is.
being left in the dust by her husband, who's now in a conservatorship. Like,
Yeah.
she's crying for herself because she's trying to pull like this whole like woe is me, I look poor thing, but it's not
Yeah.
really. Yeah, it's not working.
It's not hitting. So you guys, really quick, we have two people calling in. We
I
have the
see.
lovely T Love and we
Yeah,
have QK. So listen, they're going to get their
I
comments.
will bow out. I will be listening. Okay. Good night,
Okay.
guys. I have to wake up.
Oh, good night, Miriam. Thank
But
you
I will
so
be
Night,
much for
night.
listening.
joining us.
Erika's guilty.
I know it. I know
Yes,
it. I know
yes,
it.
yes.
So the first of all. So good night, Miriam. So here's what we're gonna do. Definitely QK, T Love.
Yeah.
Please give us your thoughts, opinions, and then the panel. If there is anything controversial, I'd love to hear you guys react. Okay. So let's
Okay.
go.
Let's. QK gonna be funny. Can't wait.
Okay.
Uh,
QK.
Wait, put it this way. Hi, everybody. Like,
Hello.
I'm not a demon, but I can be what you call shady.
I know that chuckle. You were like, I
But
was like,
anything I say, please do not take it personally. This is just reality TV. It's not real. It's just a
Is
bit
this that
fun.
British humor that LVP was talking about?
It is, but I go in deeper. But no, I was just like, I was watching you last night, Tessa, and so like I phoned up Simon and I asked him if you could have his Gucci back when he passes away. And he said you can have it. I'm just wanting to know.
chuckle. You're like,
Where is Tessa 2 at? Your twin who was on last night. People were accusing me of setting up that profile, stalking you. I was like, what?
What?
I was like, no one's got time for that.
You're like, I'll just call on a harasser. I don't need to do that.
I was like, I'd like her as my handbag when I go out because she's pretty, but that's about it. But
exactly.
But no, like the story, like Pasadena on these rocky cliffs, and Tom coming back from his Tom Cruise impersonations of doing Mission Impossible, suddenly catapults off a hill. Erika's getting a runway strip done, and the highlights put in, and she had to stop everything, go to the back cave because she sensed it, and she patted her pulse and saved Tom. I mean, his poor ankle, now a concussion. Now the snow. This woman is Dr. Quinn. Just like, this is going to be 2002 blockbuster. This event, it's going to be action-packed with an emotional end, from rags to riches to rich, back to rags to riches. This is the new America, courtesy of Erika. And we're going to get Gremlins free. Rinna is signed up. She did too. She's coming back in as free. 20 years later.
This will be, she's going to be Dr. Quinn before this is all over. Now, T Love, what about you, darling? Is T Love still here? Maybe not.
Oh no, I'll see. Maybe
I think she refreshed. She's refreshing her.
Okay, what about you, ACE? What about you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I think everybody knows at this point how I feel about Erika. I think she's just lying about everything. I don't even think she knows what the story is at this point. I think she's just lost. And this reunion is just going to be another episode of Pretty Little Lies for me. I think it's going to be dry. And I guess...
Secret. Can you keep it? This one to the grave.
Better lock it in your pocket. Taking this one to the grave, all of that.
Yes.
So fingers crossed. Hopefully, something comes to light, and she's able to address the victims. At least is the least she can do at this point. But I highly doubt it's gonna happen.
No, definitely. And what about you, T Love? Where are you feeling about this? T Love? T Love is in her own world. T Love, what are you doing? Are you being held hostage? Is this a Kelly Price situation? Blink
Tessa, can I just point out? Erika was a burn victim as well.
Hear. Oh, you can't hear. Let's try this. T Love, your mic might be muted. Well, I didn't mute it. Let's see. Is your mic muted? No, she seems to be.
How you came on to the stream.
That's weird.
Up your volume. Is your volume on your computer down? Check the settings and stuff. Make sure everything is.
You're on your end.
Check the settings. Yeah.
Let's see.
No, it's not working. I can't hear it.
I know, right? This is weird. Hold on. Let's put this down. No, that doesn't work. T Love is just cracking up. Hold on, we want to hear these jokes. Hold on, let me try taking you out and putting you back in.
Tessa.
What about now? Yes, QK.
Take yourself out and then put yourself back in.
Erika's a burn victim as well. She's been on her knees on carpet most of her life making that coin.
QK, come on, listen. Don't let anybody laugh. You guys, QK, tell the jokes, but without misogyny,
Crystal was the receptionist.
But it's the truth.
And Erika was at the service. And that's why they have such a good kiki.
Minkoff was on that phone doing the Lion King singing. That's how she got the Minkoff ring. He was impressed.
But what do you guys think? So let me ask you guys a question, and we'll go through all this, right? What did you rank this episode? I give it, I give the first 3/4 of it a 7. But then that last half, when they were when they were showing them playing tennis and drinking champagne and on the boat, I was like, I don't care. Like, move on. There's high crimes and misdemeanors afoot, and you're showing people going alley-oop and drinking champagne. Read the room, right? Read the room. So I thought the last quarter was just like, what is going on? Erika showing her true person. I don't care what anyone says. I understand this and that. She's trying to do this because of Sutton security. The way Erika was playing it, when Tom got under that conservatorship, I feel like she felt like, bet I did my part. Yep. Woo, this is all over. She didn't think they were going to come after her. And she was being so joyful about it. She was being so relieved. She was eating. She was dipping in the guacamole. She was having a grand old time. I think that Erika thought that they got away with it. And she never thought in a million years that they were going to come after her. T Love, is your volume working?
No, unfortunately. Wow.
We all were with bated breath, like, go on. Hold on one second, T Love. Let me try one thing. Lost Love, hold on 1 second. I'm just going to take you up for 1 second.
I just love how Steve Wonder's now Erika's new makeup
T Love,
artist.
does that say anything? Do you hear me, T Love?
She was looking like Trixie Mattel in this episode.
Maybe she has the site muted.
Do you have the site muted?
That's okay. You can,
Aww. Well, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
She
Never
does a
tried
great.
to love.
She does a great impersonation of a mine.
She looks
The house down.
So listen, so let me get each person's thing about getting through. What did you guys think of this episode? And what was your favorite part of the episode? What would you rank it, and what's your favorite part? And you can
For
even
me,
talk about the episode or the season up to this far. So how about this? What do you think of the season up to this far, and what was your favorite part of the
okay.
season, including this
Well,
episode?
for me, okay, so for me, the season, I'm going to give it, I see it in the chat, they saying 6 or 7. I'm going to give it probably a 6. It wasn't, them in Amsterdam and Kim and Lisa and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't that. It was just one story going on. But I wanted to say one thing. I did not know how good Luann, Jill Zarin, and Ramona was at tennis until I saw how bad Erika and Cal was, because I was like, damn. I mean, so I can't sleep on Ramona and them and how athletic they are, because compared to the girls in Beverly Hills, they're terrible. They were terrible at playing, that sport. But and also I think that as anytime the housewives get together and do truth or dare, and I remember a couple of years ago when Kenya was saying, "Oh, well, did you catch that tea when Portia said she had a golden shower?" and all that kind of stuff. I love when the housewives do reveal sessions. So we learned that Sutton had anal sex. I was like, oh my gosh, wow.
Wait, what? What?
Well,
Yeah.
well,
No,
so they said whoever, I know, but they said whoever had anal sex, and we learned that Sutton had anal sex. I said, wow, oh my gosh.
She's getting adventurous.
But so I wasn't shocked. It seemed like when you get a rich man, they're into freaky stuff. So
Listen,
I think
everybody
that's
does
cool.
what they want in their house. I
not
want
freaky for
to
me.
like normalize. I don't care. I was never one of those people. I don't care what you do as long as it's consensual and legal. Have at it. But can we like move away from normalizing? Why do people think their sex lives are so interesting? I don't. Unless you are my man, I don't
Yes,
care
yes.
what you like. I don't want to hear what you're into. I don't care what you did last night. I'm literally like, can we move on? I don't want to envision you like this. Like, why are you telling me? But I realize some people love hearing every little detail. And I'm always like,
I didn't need to hear it, but I was glad that they revealed it, honey. I really
listen,
was.
glad you revealed, but I just thought, can we stop normalizing? People are like, oh, I'm so free. Talk about my sex life, and I'm not
You're
a
never
prude
too
by
old to
any
learn new
means.
things.
But unless you're the person I'm sleeping with, it does not excite me. It is not provocative. I do not care what you're into. It's like you telling me, well, guess what I'm going to make for breakfast? I don't care. I'm not eating breakfast with you. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, that's
Move
what
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that's what the house was. That's all they. I mean, the Atlanta. That was all it was last year. It was just about what they did, who they did it with, how many times they did it. So I think that's a formula
Yeah.
they use. Is they try to talk about what's going on in the bedroom.
I was put off by
Yeah.
Atlanta last year.
Yeah.
Well,
gay.
so-and-so about
Apart
to
from
parent
Bolo.
into the room, and you're like,
I know. That's it.
And
But
can
anyway,
we?
so them playing tennis
also,
very
well,
badly
not
was
to interrupt Mel, but
yeah.
do you feel like when they're actually talking about that, they're doing it also because they're maybe not having sex? Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're
Yeah,
always
you
there
talk
to
about
be
it more when you're
bragging about,
feminist.
I did this and I did
Vicariously
that.
to each other.
I think that they not, maybe when Sutton talked about it, maybe she was talking about her experience she had 40 years ago. But I'm not saying that she's something that she had right now. But do I think that they currently have it and getting it and busting it open? No. But I think that maybe they talking about busting it open. I think that maybe they having some good memories from yesteryear.
Nobody has Megan's knees on that show. Nobody on the cast has Megan's knees.
And the word-
I don't think so.
So wide as this table.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mel. So you're saying that you thought it was about a 6, and what were the parts that you thought were like, you could do without?
I mean, I think any time they listen, I think they only had one thing going on. I think for me, the thing is that they kept diverting and deflecting and kept focusing on Garcelle and Sutton this season. I thought it was a missed opportunity. I think that the producing of the show I thought was lazy, because I feel like if we have a big story with Erika, that's one thing, but the other ladies also have things going on too, so they could have filled it out. And Erika wasn't really, yeah, so I just think that the producing of the show was lazy, in my opinion. So it wasn't that exciting. They just grilled her every now and then. They protected her sometimes. So yeah, it wasn't the best season for me.
Yeah. Okay. And what about, so who wants to go next? to give their
Me,
opinion of the season thus far, where the things are, and what you hope like they can move around and change somehow.
I'll do it.
No.
Right. If you notice with the episodes, they keep going up and down for drama each other episode each week. This has all been focused on Erika. This is not about any other housewife. Bravo
Okay.
finds this is gold. So everyone else doesn't have a storyline but Erika. But it's getting a bit to the point where Erika is not saying anything at all. So it's getting a bit monotonous. And we want to see these new housewives. All I've seen is Minkoff acting shady, like Jekyll and Hyde, 1 minute fine, next minute not. She's two-faced, put it that way. Rinna should be just green screened out, and LVP should be put in like a Whitney Houston prop. You know what I mean? Like Whitney Houston hologram. She's useless. She's like a chocolate fire guard, just useless. And Dottie Dorit, oh, why is she still here? I'm sorry, but can we put PK in heels, a dress, and a wig holding a diamond? Because come on, he's brought more than what she has this season in 2 episodes. That's it. What they're going to end up doing is people are not going to get what they want the justice out of this. They won't. And everything will probably be back next season. That's going to be the downside of it. But I'm hoping next season it's going to be the case of a standoff between her and Kyle and see where Rinna's going to sit in between them because she can't keep on staying on the outside. Then you'll see how the clogs is turning and how the Mean Girls is all going to break down. And I'm hoping Minkoff's not going to be back because she is just another form of the Mean Girls. And we want to see people like Sutton. I mean, I know Garcelle hasn't had much of a storyline, but she keeps it honest and real. And she's there like to say, look, this is what's going on. We need stories from these people.
Yeah, I actually do. I know you guys are saying that Garcelle doesn't have much of a storyline. I see the storyline. I'm actually really interested in she is single and she is ready to mingle. And that interests me. I want to see a single woman.
Bravo's cutting it out. They're not
Agreed.
making much of an effort with them. They're cutting them off and focusing on Erika's drama. And this is what we need, variety of different people. And one thing I will say, Beverly Hills, they have a lot of Muslims there and Arabic people who are really, really rich, but they are not brought in. I've never seen a West native in these housewives at all.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like the original people from the land. I've not seen anyone like this. Why don't they start doing diversity properly with the actual rich people and bring it back to what Housewives was with the actual rich ladies? What can live like what Sutton does?
Yeah.
But even better. That's what it needs.
Well, Bravo, I think it's going to be a long time, QK, because honestly, I'm not even being funny. They just got Asian Americans on, literally. And they put them on in the first season. Literally, Tiffany Moon, and then you got Crystal. Okay, good.
I love
and
Tiffany Moon.
The fact that it's what year, and you just got Asian American women on the show.
It's crazy how it's taken that long.
Exactly. And to the point of, like you said, in Beverly Hills, so many Persian, so many Middle Eastern, so many Lebanese. There's so many people with deep pockets, and the fact that you miss all that. And the native, you're right. That's a good point. Like, where is actual diversity? And the fact that they literally put a gold star because they put a Black woman and an Asian woman on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, I have an interesting question for you guys. If Crystal leaves, I fear they will bring Teddy back, and I couldn't stand it.
I don't think they will. No,
That's the devil's word.
No, they're not bringing Teddy back. They're not bringing Teddy back.
No, thank you.
No.
Not Kyle Shadow. No, thank you.
And the whole chorus of like, no, okay, Crystal, you can say. I do think that Kyle wants Teddy back, and she sees Crystal's spot, but I would rather have Crystal any day of the week than
definitely.
Teddy. We're not even gonna. But QK, you make a lot of good points about, and also QK, make sure you email me. I would love to have you back on the panel. You make a lot of, or DM me on Instagram. You make a lot of good points about where everybody is with the character development, the way they literally have focused on Erika as a storyline, but and this is my issue with Bravo production. but they don't have the balls to really go for the jugular.
Exactly.
If you're going to make her the sacrificial lamb, then cut it open from
And
from
let
what
the
is it, from
bloody
neck
thing
down to
bleed.
belly.
Well, you know why they're not. I told you the conspiracy theory. You know why they're not.
Well, true, but if they weren't, to your conspiracy theory, QK, I don't know if you heard, but one of the reasons why Erika might be protected is because Tom is in bed with NBC Bravo doing week.
There's a lot of shady stuff what's going on in the background. You know their
Yep.
law systems are corrupt.
Yep.
Yes.
Now
Very
she's
corrupt.
got people, she's got family in the police force. Now who to say they aren't corrupt as well, knowing all the
Exactly.
shady stuff. This woman, I think at that dinner table was more or less saying to Sutton, it's not me you want to be scared of, it's the people around what's watching this and watching you, and more or less threatening her family. Because
She did.
I mean,
She
he's
did.
getting away with this for like 30 years. A corrupt
Wow.
law system, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Allegedly, because I don't want to put you in trouble or anything like this on the box sport. When you think about it, how many shady people do they know? Real shady people.
Do we know?
No, I'm on about Erika and Tom.
Oh,
Right, Tom,
Yeah.
basically. These scary people even to have on TV. I would not have her on TV. Sorry, I wouldn't. Too scary.
I mean,
You know,
that's an
you said
interesting.
the
Go on.
You said the word allegedly, and I was going to say, if I hear allegedly coming into the next season, I'm going to be so mad. Because with the amount of information that's come out between last season and this season, and what they know now is so much more than what they knew before. And if they're going to go into the season continuing to be yes men for Erika and using allegedly and trying to play it as, like just trying to drag the whole Erika Jane story on, I'm going to be extremely disappointed because we don't need to be sitting here for another season listening to Lisa Rinna co-signing every single one of Erika Jane's story by telling us it's the truth. Like, if it's coming out of loose lips, Lisa, it's not the truth. Okay.
Exactly.
It's true, but to the point of if they are going to make her the sacrificial lamb, then rip that baby open. Do not sit there and be like,
I think it's a confusion with that, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the producers who made sacrificial lamb. I think it's the women. You have to remember Kyle's like best friends with the producers. Because remember, in the sense of like that's kind of the issue of Beverly Hills is that the women are actually close friends with producers. I like one of the producers always goes to Portia's birthdays and all that kind of stuff. So they get to be able to craft the story they want to tell. I think none of the women wanted to tell their stories. So let's focus on Erika, but let's not go too hard that we can play in her face like we're still her friends, and then behind her back we kiki cackle about it. I don't necessarily think it's kind of like production going back, because generally the production will hide away from this kind of thing. So I honestly think it might be a little bit of viral. Kyle will be like, okay, let's go after her. We'll play nice though, but the whole season's about her. The whole season's about her. We won't go too hard, but you don't have to focus on my life. You don't have to focus on Dorit and her business practices and the bankruptcy and the fact that she maybe wedding dressed up for this fraudulent wedding dress company. Like, you don't have to do any of that. You just have to talk about Erika.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that, though. I have lived a million lives in my time, and I'm not going to actually give the name of the show, but I actually did casting for a reality TV show, right? And I will say that, first of all, when you cast for the reality TV show, you need to know that they have, when you are casting, they have you speak to the in-house therapist, counsel, like whatever. And you sit there and you talk about all your childhood dreams and fears and ambitions and this and that. They share that because when you sign the contract, they share that with production team. They assign you a producer. The producer becomes your best friend. Yeah, they do. But that's how they know how to push the thing. Let's just say you're afraid of, you're saying my biggest fear is abandonment. They set up scenes where it's like, let's make her feel abandoned and let's watch it go. You have a producer, and the producer is assigned to basically be your best friend, right? You really feel like this person's down for you. And in these scenes where it's individual meetings or on things, what happens is they'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, so Tisa, you're meeting with Candy for lunch. And it's like, yeah, Candy's cool. Really, the producer shows you playback where Candy has been like, Tisa hair is always dry. When's she going to straighten it? Blah, 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 blah. And they show you like all these things. So you walk into that scene on 10 because you can't say anything. Because one, it's the fourth wall. And two, you're not supposed to know because the producer is like, Candy, don't say anything. But Tisa was talking shit about you. So they go in on hype. So a lot of these things are not created, but they are, because it's like they're pulling the puppet strings. So to your point that producers can be kept out of shit, absolutely not, because your producer becomes your best friend, and your producer even knows what's going on in the bed with your husband. They know everything. It's the job,
I
and they
don't.
have therapists doing that too. So I think when you say it's producers, I think the producers are protecting her. I really honestly do. Not
I don't think they're
necessarily.
cut out. I just think that the women have an extra. I think maybe they're a little more friendly, have a time to be in their ear a little bit more than the other franchises. That's what I think. Because my thing is like, well, then how come? Like, we have to remember, Dorit was literally chased around a pool by one of the businesswomen, like one of the business partners that was asking for money during filming, and that never aired, and none of the women ever talked about it. It could still not air, and someone could still bring it up. So I think it's kind of hard to also work with talent that's refusing to talk about other situations. I just think they might have a bigger ear than otherwise.
I think, but that's a producer fault too, because when talent is like, I'm not talking, it's like, well, guess what?
They all need to be hired.
You're not doing this. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I think it's twofold. I think it's one, I think production sometimes isn't paying attention to social media and what's happening, because now information happens so fast and so quickly and so instantaneous. I think they are paying attention, but I think sometimes they don't pay attention as much. Like, for example, with like, I know we're not talking about RHOBH, but I think that was a big situation where they weren't paying attention to social media and things like that. So I think it's twofold. I do agree with you that producers know everything in the sense of behind the scenes and pulling strings and puppeteering. I also think when it comes to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think that there has been a clear alliance between Dorit, Rinna, and Erika. I think they pretend with Kyle, but I don't think they actually mess with Kyle. I think it's all very surface. I think the true trifecta is the three of them. Because if you go back and watch remember when they went on that trip to Tahoe or wherever the hell they went, and they were around the table, and Kathy was going to play that game, that like drinking game, and Dorit, who did she text? She texted Rinna, and she texted Erika to give them the heads up. Hey, I'm not actually drinking this much. Don't you drink it either. And then they pretended like it was some... And they pretended like it was some like game. We're like, no, we're going to play a game on you. No, they have a pact. They don't drink too much in front of the group because they don't want to get too sloppy or anything to come out. And I think they have a pact not to go against each other. And I think that is a big reason why a lot of their stuff doesn't come out. That's a big reason why they co-signed their BS. That's a big reason why Erika felt so protected and emboldened as well. And that's another reason why Dorit would say one thing during the whole Sutton girl powwow. And then when she got in Erika's face, she was like, I love you though, beloved, I love you. No, like, I would never, blah, 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 and kissing her butt. I think the three of them is the true alliance. And they front with Kyle, but I don't think Kyle is actually a part of their true alliance.
True.
I hear sound.
I hear sound. Do we have Miss T Love?
I think so. Hi,
Hi.
I had to get on my cell phone because I have too many securities on my desktop, unfortunately. Aww. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that this is like just textbook color crime, if you ask me. It's been going on for years. I grew up in those kind of areas, Beverly Hills. I ran around in California as a young girl. And this is just normal. This is really just normal. Like he doesn't have to have anybody in his pocket. There hasn't, like, everyone is working together as a team. Like, what marriage are you not in it as a team? Like, she definitely was a team player. They were getting that money together. You're in California. It's big money out there. That's just what you do. Everybody is bought. Everybody. You see, even the governor. Like I have stories that would blow your mind. So this is nothing new. It may just be new that we're speaking on it, because of the internet. But this is old hat. Like, it's not even surprising. It's just you see, they're just like the knockoff Bernie Madoffs of the world. Like, this is what they do. Black people, I'm not putting everything in a box, but this is society. Black people sell drugs. White people do white collar crime. This is just what it is. They get away with it. They get away with all the money. They hide it, they bury it. They don't have to pay that money back. They still have that money in white collar crime. This is normal. Everybody, this is just what they do in society when you have money. So, no, of course, no one's going to do anything to Tom. No one's going to do anything to uh what's her name, Erika, either. Like they have, yes, Vegas and the Win. Like I grew up when the MGM Grand first opened. I was there. Like this is money, old money mixed with new money, and it's just never going to stop. We just aren't a part. Like we're pawns in it. You know what I mean? If we get in the business to work and flip social security numbers, and know who you know. But this isn't a shock. Like I don't know why people are like, oh well, he had this person. Oh, no. This is what the rich do. They're just stupid because this is not the 90s. These people grew up in the 90s era. So everything was hidden. There was none of this. So when you come to, now where everything is online, you can talk, you can, refute what they're saying. You can, show proof and speak out, whether it's warranted or not. Like we don't need a spot on Entertainment Tonight to talk about these people and still have the same reach. So they're just stupid to go on those shows if they're doing that crime, and it's not going to stop. It's going to be another one. There is another one. Kyle and all those people. What do you think they're doing? That's what they do. You think they're getting that money because honestly, hell no.
Mauricio's into some shady stuff.
Yeah, everybody is. Like money, that money, let me tell you, I grew up in Bear. I didn't live there, but I grew up out there. I put it to you like that. And I've been everywhere. To the highest, to the high, to the lowest of the low. Trust me. When you grow up in LA, like I think one person was talking about Brandy, and I grew up not too far from Carson. Yeah, they're right in the street like everybody else because you grow up out there with that big money. Like my family is well connected. I got police. My grandfather was a police. My aunts were detective. I have a superstar nephew right now. That's the biggest quarterback right now in college. So trust me, I know this stuff is not new. It's just they're stupid to put it on to be on TV with it.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So if the legal system isn't going to hold these people responsible, do you feel like us fans should? Because us fans, we do hold some type of power. We make or break celebrities. I mean, why are they on TV? Because we love to see them.
Right, because that's what I was telling teachers, like we as say subscribers, instead of us watching one person make $1 million, we need to come together and be able to create a community of wealth amongst each other, and make Tisa get $1 million followers, and us create
excellent idea.
Yeah, wealth, amongst ourselves, instead of say we'll just use this for an example. We have like an Ari, and we're all here for her, and she's making these millions, and she's buying, but we're the ones who's paying so you can have all this. So let's turn it around and let's give ourselves all that money so we can split it amongst ourselves and give us $1,000 giveaways and 2,000 giveaways to everyone else that puts it in, because we're making them them that fortune. So I feel like we should turn it around.
That money and invest it in me. I
agree,
T-Love. You make some valid points.
Yeah, if we need to get 1 million followers over here, just imagine we had 1 million followers that gave $10. Do you know how much money that is amongst our group? Just 1 million people are giving $10 to one pod community group.
I mean, that's true. But let me ask you a question though, and this goes for everybody. So if this season, are you guys going to be watching next season if there's no type of confrontation to Erika? And I mean, honestly, I know I'm never watching it again.
I watch it for the wealth. I watch it.
Most of the shows that I don't watch is because out of boredom. Sometimes I'll hate watch something, right? I remember when I was really into Real Housewives in New Jersey, when Melissa and Teresa were going through something, this is back in the day, I was so invested in their drama, right? So I would hate watch it. But do you think that the problem that Bravo's having with their franchises are people just don't care? You'll be like, oh, I hate them, but it's to the point of you never get what you need out of the show. So you're just like, whatever. And like OC, you just don't watch it. Real Housewives in New York, you just don't watch it. Who is it? Atlanta, I fear, is on the next list of shows that you're just like, it was probably just bullshit, Where do you think where you are at with all of Bravo's shows? And I know a lot of you guys were hardcore fans back in the day. Like it was like watching Sunday Night Football. Like you were there seated in your seat. Where are you at now with like the Bravo lineup? Candy, let's hear from you.
I think in one word is stale. I think it's just a stale network, and the franchises are very stale. Everything is being recycled. We're seeing that there's no new, actually interesting, fresh new talent or fresh new faces. I think that they've missed the mark. They've strayed away from what their core audience really wanted and what their core beginning was. So I think it's just really stale. I think we need new producers, new production. I think we need new show ideas. I think we need different formats. And I also think the world, not to get too heady, but I really think the world is just different now than when Bravo was in its heyday, with social media, with the pandemic that's happening, with all that racism. Stuff, with casual racism, with the BLM movement. I just think that the world is in a different place, and I think Bravo's having a very difficult time catching up in an authentic way. And I was going to say my favorite part of the season actually was Garcelle, when she was being I didn't like the way in which it went down. I didn't like that it was Rinna and Dorit going after her and being so fake and so shady and just like so gaslighting. I didn't like the way in which it went down, but I did like the fact that Garcelle was saying, why is it when I have an opinion that you don't like, you want to call that bullying, you want to call that angry, you want to call it this, and this. I'm allowed to have an opinion that you don't like without you labeling me these things, because all of the women have different opinions. Nobody called Erika a bully. Nobody called Erika angry. Nobody did all that. And she was the most toxic, aggressive person on show. Right. And then also, I loved what Garcelle said when she said, I don't feel like I'm truly a part of this group. And then Dorit was like, well, I don't think that. Excuse me, Dorit, your thoughts are not Garcelle's feelings. Right. And don't dare try and think that what you think is indicative of what someone's experience of you is. So I love that we brought that to light. And then I also love when Garcelle was at the table and she was just like, I have to fight to fit in all of the time. And I think just, it is a burden. And I'll just speak for myself. I don't speak for all Black women, but I'm a Black woman, so I'll speak for myself. I 1,000% identified with Garcelle. Because when you do walk into a room and you're the only brown or Black person there, you do feel you have to kind of fit in a little bit. You do feel you have to kind of code switch. There is a level of PSD and paranoia. Yes. There is. Tisa, girl, you know. Girl, come on. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it funky. I know. And there is a loyal. There's a level. Wait, let me finish. There's a level of paranoia that goes with it, because you do think, are you treating me this way because I am Black, because I am brown, because I am other? And I do think that people feel that. You walk into a grocery store and the person staring at you, they might be thinking about something else, but I do think we live in a society where you're kind of like, are you watching me still because I'm Black? Are you doing this, and that? You know what I mean? I do think that happens. I do think it happens.
Listen, I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying that walking into a store, but then again, I'll be real with you guys. I grew up in a predominantly white community. So when I walk into a room full of white people, but that's normal. When I walk into a room full of white people, I know y'all ain't shit. Anyway, like, it's not about the fact of, like, it never occurs to me that somebody might be being racist. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had my reality check, so I'll be like, wait, racist, right? But I didn't have my reality checks. Of course, there's racist people, but even to the thing of Garcelle was saying, I did feel that thing, but maybe because my mom was so like she was such a mama bear, and she made sure we were stoned and this and that. I felt for Garcelle. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I felt for Garcelle. I know what she was saying, but to walk into a room of people that are to be your friends, but then again, I grew up thinking there was something wrong with them. Not that they were racist, but like, wow, they're really stupid. Or wow, did they not hear me? Like, they would try looking when I was a kid, I guess looking back, they would try to ice me out. And I'd be like, hello, I'm speaking. Did you guys hear what I said? Because it never occurred to me. They were icing me out. So I get what Garcelle's saying, but I do wish and I'm not judging the way she handles this.
Right.
I do wish that Garcelle would realize that part of the reason why they exclude her is because they see that she can set up her own power base. And I really do wish that Garcelle would be more concerned with setting up her own power base than getting them to accept her. But I understand also we live in she's not in a she's in a fishbowl. And I understand that at this point, she's speaking in code. She's not really worried about what they really actually feel for her. It's the fact that they see that they're trying to ice her out so she doesn't have a storyline. So she's literally arguing about like, how dare you guys do that? So Garcelle's arguing 6 things, but it's all under that fourth wall guise of, I feel like I'm not accepted by the group.
It's like what I was saying earlier about the cutting her scenes out, and you can see production doing it. And Kyle is part of production. Now, I will say one thing when Dorit brought up that situation, when Garcelle goes, do you have black friends? And she says, my mother does. And I was just like, wow. I was just like, really?
And black people work
this
for
where
me.
we go down to reach?
And I knew at that moment, your mom doesn't know
100%.
one black person. Probably didn't pay someone to be her mom's black friend. My mom's best friend is black. And I was like, Dorit, you are a horrible liar, right?
Horrible liar. Horrible liar. And she was saying how her kids love the brown and black people who work for them. Remember, Dorit said that. Dorit said that. And then she was like, oh, well, do you know any? She's like, are you friends with anybody who's black who doesn't work for you?
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing is, right?
Come on now. We got to get real with this stuff.
Listen, I am just trying to say that I think that when it comes to this, we often overlook, and this is my being Bravo's problem with casual racism. Kathy Hilton, the way when Garcelle was talking about race, and she's like, do you know what it's like to, feel this and that, walk into a room? And Kathy's like, actually, I do. And then Garcelle looked at her like, why is this bitch playing with me? But Garcelle was really good the way she hit the ball back, saying, well, try living with it every day. But she looked at Garcelle, she looked at her like, are you kidding me? But then remember when they were having the conversation about race, and Kathy said, I don't see color, and Michael Jackson was my friend. And I was like, why is nobody calling Kathy out on this? Like, next Kathy's going to say, my heart's not racist. She's saying all the visuals of a casually racist person, and I'm just waiting for her to say, my heart's not racist. That's all she's doing.
I dated a black guy in college.
That's what Crystal came at Sutton for, and look at how Kathy's acting. And how Kathy's acting, but I just don't like the fact that there was no reaction from Crystal. It seems kind of hypocritical. It's like, why are you holding Sutton to the standard, but not Kathy? And you've known Kathy for such a long time. It's so weird. So you're trying to make it seem like you don't want to associate yourself with people who say, I don't see color. But why are you going to...
Is Kathy Hilton a housewife, or is she a friend of the housewife?
She's a friend.
She's a friend. Why is she allowed to phone in every goddamn scene? She fell asleep during yoga. She was in her room. But then again, she's only there, I guess, as a favor. And she's like, what? And I'm waiting for her to come out of her room.
But you know what, Tisha? That part is boring too. But you know what, Tisha? I was going to say this.
Wait, you guys, hold on. Everyone's speaking at once. Let's have one go, one at a time. Mel, you go, and then QK, I heard you talking, and then whoever else.
Yeah, I was going to say QK. I was going to say this. One thing I was tired about this season is that they constantly sort of bow down to Kathy, and that was boring. It was like, wait a minute, if she brought you on a trip, why is the host sleeping or too late or too this? And with other people, they would have sort of, called them out on that. So I thought that was pretty weak. But I also want to say that Candy made a lot of good points when she said about being stale. That is a thing across the franchises. When they were grilling on Twitter, Ebony, because they said, oh, because she brought up Black lives, this is the reason why the show went down. I think that the reason that show went down was, I think that show went down 5 years ago, to be quite frank. I don't think, I love Stephanie, but I don't think that she was saving the show. The show was always going down because every season it was just them drinking and talking about their marriages that they had 20 years ago and all these other problems. I think that the same thing happens on The Housewives, like you were saying. It's very stale. They have the same formula. They have real issues. They have real interesting things going on, but the producers are lazy. They don't really dig too deep. And then you have these scenes where people are talking around the real issues. They sort of looking at the cameras and not really going deep. And then we have conversations like this where we're talking about the real issues, and we call it quote unquote conspiracy theories, but these are the real things, and nobody's really touching them. So I think that at a certain point it gets boring. I think that if they can't get real, if they can't almost be almost like a documentary, not just sort of the scripted boring, reality soap opera. It's not something I'm not sure if I can continue to watch next year if it's going to continue to be this way. I need to be a little more interesting. They give you little glimpses of interesting characters, but then sometimes, like the Mary on Salt Lake City or whatever, they just sort of put them in the box, and then we just get filled with a lot of people who we don't care about. I think with Housewives, because this big crime, it was compelling in some parts, but for the most part, they drunk. They had dinners and they went to different things, and this is what it was, and it was boring. And the activities were very boring to me.
Do you think that the key for all, and QK, you can go next, sorry to interrupt you, but do you guys, I'm just putting this out for food for thought. Do you think the key actually might be also getting more diverse producers?
Probably.
Yeah,
That might
you
be
can't
it.
have diverse stories
That
told by
was-
white people only.
But even not even Black, Asian, Native American,
Yeah.
literally,
Oh,
because you're
for
right.
sure.
Well, definitely Black because we're Black, right? Yes, as first, right?
That's right.
But also like other races, because I do think when you have different cultures kind of putting it, it just comes out better because it's more interesting. They even show viewpoints that I might not care about till I see it on screen. I'm like, oh wow, that is an interesting viewpoint. So that might be the problem with Bravo. They're trying to, on the face of it, put more people of Black people, people of color, like whatever, on screen, but they're not really going in because the people telling the stories are still white, predominantly LGBTQ, right? Let's not forget that, and male. Those are predominant. Those are the predominant things to think, and it's weird that you
100%.
have LGBTQ white males telling the stories of women and even women of color. I'm not saying they can't, but can we have some actual women maybe being the producers, some actual Black people, Asian people? Actually, I think that will go a long way into making it more interested and reviving it, so.
Yes.
But sorry, QK, what were you saying?
There's two things. First of all, Kathy's only on this show. She's been hounded since season 1 to be on the show. Andy has wanted her on from the beginning, but she refused. The only reason she's on the show as a friend is a redemption story after the Paris thing. That is the only reason to clear up her name, because she had a bad reputation and everyone was going in on her. So she's putting on this little front, like, dumb act to get the reputation back. That's the only reason she's
Is
there.
the reputation because of that Bravo Netflix documentary, Action Mother? Yeah.
What she did to Paris. That's
No,
why.
I think it was YouTube. She did it. YouTube Red was the Paris documentary.
Yes, it was.
It was that, and then her and Kathy did the Netflix thing, which I also agree with Q. That's a part of her redemption path.
It is. This is her trying to get redemption. So she's looking good because she was scorned to hell with what Paris came out and said. So it's through Paris while she's on this show to make her look like dumb and a happy person, like she doesn't know any better. You know what I mean? That's the front. The real Kathy Hilton hasn't merged yet, but she will if she keeps on the show, because no one can put up with an actor for that long. No one can do it. No one's that good of an actress. Look at Erika. She's terrible. She can't act.
I agree with that.
Now,
I agree with that.
The second half of it is these housewives with the stories and stuff. This is the real part. People will agree and disagree with it. I think they should be on for a 5-year period. Take time off, get new stories, where they progress in life, and then come back a few years later with stories instead of keeping them on without any stories. And when you've got these stories going on, it keeps it fresh, it keeps it current, and it keeps it intermingled, and it keeps Bravo going. That's the key to this. Without stories, it goes lame. I mean, look at Roy. That was late. That was like up there. And the storyline for last season was all about Bolo and his death.
Yes.
I feel like 5 years
was
is too
tragic.
long.
And they don't need to come back. Like
I
that's
feel like
the thing.
after
There's
2
so much
seasons, they should
talent
be
out
done.
there. We don't need to keep seeing the same 10 people.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's more or less what I wanted to say. I mean, bring them back now and then, like the original cast member. See where they've been since 10 years ago. Like drop one in, see if they mix well. So it gives you familiarity of like the old viewers can remember them as well as the new ones and keeping them current. But not the way they're doing it now. I mean, not one of them has storylines. Not one of them.
That's
I agree
true.
with what you say, QK, but I feel like 5 years is too long. I feel like what they should be doing is if you're on the season for 2 seasons without a storyline, you need to be out. Because why are they going to keep continuing
That's
to
true
have,
too.
oh, sorry, my cat's meowing, but why should they have you on for like 3 or more seasons? It's like Elisa Renna. Like, she's just sitting there for like 2 seasons now with no storyline. And we know she has a storyline. Kim Richards needs to be back here so she can bring up Lisa Rinna's storyline because Lisa Rinna is not going to do it herself. But
Oh, not Harry Hamlin and his Go-Go Boys in Canada. Allegedly.
Well, I will say with the diversity, Dorit is showing her Karen and wanting to own her culture now because there are people of color on the show. I think basically Dorit is a white woman of an ethnic background, and she wanted to appear as a white American. Her mom's from Morocco. Her dad's Israeli. You can in her old photos, her hair is curly. She has the features and everything.
I didn't know. Okay.
You didn't know because she doesn't talk about it because she wants.
She has a different face now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a very different face. Very different.
It's like it's
when I get money, I'm gonna come on with a different face too. You're gonna be like, "Who is this?" And I'm like,
"No, keep your girl. Please don't. Please don't. You are so pretty. You do not mess up your face."
Hi,
I thought that was the norm. You go to LA for brand new face.
I'm sorry. I interrupted you. So what were you saying about Dorit and her mom? I mean, sorry, Dorit presenting as a white woman. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Yes, because I know personally, like I like one of my best friends. She's Albanian. She, generally white, but she has, some ethnic features. Dorit has erased all of that from her face. So now she has amalgamated herself in Beverly Hills as basically, a white American woman. Now you have Garcelle, who's trying to, own her Haitian culture, and she talks about all that. Up until now, we have not heard anything about Dorit's family. We have not heard her talk anything about her speaking Hebrew or anything like that. Now all of a sudden there are 2 people of color, and now you want to start talking about how you speak Hebrew, how your mom's from Morocco, a white African woman, how you eat spicy food. I find it interesting. Those have been interesting storylines that she has been on the show to be able to talk about that. She could have been bonding with Portia, trying to help her teach Hebrew for her bar mitzvah. I believe that's what it's called. But now it's like this war of like who's more culturally diverse. Because my thing is like it's weird that her comebacks to Garcelle are about her like, I speak 4 languages. And I think it's also interesting because her storyline kind of always has been she's traveled the world and she speaks these languages because she's been the fashion girl. Not necessarily because she comes from a family of the world. I can think of like, I've gone to Jamaica. Because my mom's Jamaican. Like, the reason why I've traveled has also been because it's a part of my family. The food I kind of eat is a part of my family. Some of my grammar is messed up because my mom speaks Patois. Like those are interesting things about me that come from a cultural background that I could tell and become part of my story. Dorit has not done any of that. All we know of her is fashion, and on the fly, all the debt and the loose homes and loose cars. Anyway, and also the way she Karen is a Karen in the sense of like, it's interesting as well for me personally. Garcelle has a lovely voice. The way that Dorit repeats her voice reminds me of the way Ashley repeats when she's trying to imitate Candace and or Lindy. It's very loud, it's very obnoxious, and it sounds uneducated. When we know that all of these women are, at least somewhat worldly and have nice toned voices and speak articulately. But Dorit, the person who's come from Connecticut with this weird accent, is the one talking like a country bumpkin when she's imitating Garcelle, even though the Garcelle is the one who comes from a foreign country. That to me is wild.
Notice how we stopped seeing a lot of Dorit after her whole Garcelle drama. Like this whole episode tonight, we didn't even see one bit of Dorit. It's like she's only trying to create a storyline with herself with Garcelle. It's kind of sad. We should be able to see more of her and who she really is.
No, definitely. I agree with you. Sorry to interrupt. We're going to wrap this live up soon. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. Before I give the update, it's juicy. But let me just say, first of all, Mel, New York City, has started his YouTube page. We're going to support him all we can. He also has an Insta. Please go and check him out. It's Mel New York City reviews, right? Mel New York City reviews. Please go check them out. We also have the lovely Miss Candy Washington. She has her YouTube page all up and running. She's one of the big people that broke the All About the Tea drama. She's a great investigator. You know, I love Mel and Candy, their point of view. Please go and follow them and support them on Instagram and YouTube. You will not be disappointed. And of course, we have Kaya, my girl, stand up, right? We have ACE, we have Lost Love, and of course, we have the lovely QK. QK, I don't know if you guys want to drop your Insta handles in here, or if you guys want to message me your Insta handles, I'll put them in the description box of this live so you guys can get support. I'm sure people would love to follow you and hear what you're saying. If you guys have any YouTube channels, let me know. I'm happy to support them. But this is the tea I wanted to share, right? Attorney Ronald Richards posted that should we tell them? Okay, so first of all, he posted that the Citizens Bank order has been signed, so they're getting access to Erika's accounts, personal accounts, or it might not be Erika's, it might be Ron's personal accounts, both of the personal accounts from Citizens Bank, so they can see the money coming in and the money coming out. This house of cards is going to be folding. That's one thing I'll say. You never want anyone doing forensics on your finances. I will literally plead guilty before I want somebody in my finances. It's like, no. Now, he did say, breaking news, the government has moved to dismiss a pending criminal action where a housewife was a witness. We believe our efforts helped a non-client unrelated to our investigation due to the fact that we have exposed credibility problems with this witness. More to come. So the tea lovers don't crucify us. We have to wait until the judge signs the order and defendant is out of harm's way. Then we have to decide what vehicle will we use to disseminate this info. I'll get to the point. And we will have to get the clip from the show where this was discussed. Sorry, we promise this is so good and hot, it'll burn your lips reading this. Again, the best thing is our work has helped someone clear someone of charges and they can go on with their life. This was what makes the job rewarding. We may just do a live group on YouTube with the crew calling tech now. Ron, you ain't got to do that. Come over here. But he also posted a follow-up post that said, should we tell them or do one of you want to come clean? He tagged Kyle Richards, Sutton, Erika, Dorit, Lisa Rinna, Garcelle, Kathy Hilton, and also Bravo Andy. He said, our followers are not the passive type. Real Housewives, and he tagged all this other stuff. And
yo, Tissa, you think you're slick? You missed Crystal. I'm dead. That's how irrelevant she is.
Just say mink off.
No,
mink off who?
No, he did not.
He didn't tag her.
He didn't tag her.
Yeah, he did.
He did not tag. Wait, Kyle.
Her page is just gone.
She's on Twitter. No. Crystal left Twitter because of the racial comments.
This is he said Kyle, Sutton, the Pretty Mess, Dorit, Lisa Rinna, Garcelle, Kathy, and Bravo Andy. He didn't tag Crystal, oddly enough. And he said, we'll reveal tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, he's going to reveal, I think morning in California time. So it's going to be some time. He's going to reveal. And he said he's waiting for a judge to sign the order. And he said, should we tell them or do one of you want to come clean? Yo, he didn't tag Crystal. This is about Crystal. And he said that one of the
I don't think Crystal's on social media anymore.
The reason why I brought that up is because
she's not. Crystal's off of social media.
But he tagged Crystal on the Twitter on the tweet that he released. That's why I said that. Sorry.
Okay, no, so I'm on Instagram. Maybe that's why he didn't tag Crystal and didn't even put hashtag. But this is interesting to hear. I'm going to be up and I'm going to do what am I saying? Most likely I'll wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon again and be like, hold on, breaking news, right? Even like I was walking out of my building today and the doorman, I know they're always cracking up. I walk out and because I'm getting up at 1 o'clock, walking out at 3, they're like, hey, I'm like, hey, good morning. And they're just like, it's afternoon, whatever. You got my goddamn point. Just please open this door. Thank you. So okay, so we're going to do that. And it literally looks like he's breaking some tea. Somehow the housewife wasn't credible and it cleared someone's name. I'm very, very interested to see who he's talking about, and he said this tea is piping hot. So you guys follow attorney, follow
Oh,
attorney Ronald Richardson. I'm sorry, attorney Ronald Richards. I don't know why I keep calling him Richardson on Instagram, and set it up. I don't know. Can you get alerts? But he's gonna drop that. I don't know. I'm wondering what it is. I
He
heard.
said it was. Oops, sorry.
No, go on, go on.
No, I was gonna say he gave us a hint and said it was on one of the episodes, so we seen it.
Kathy did say
But
she did.
see what
That's why
though?
I'm
But
trying to
see
think
what
back
though?
what was said.
Like what though? Yeah.
So I have an assumption. Well, like looking at his Twitter and what a lot of fans were assuming, somebody brought up the Two Truths and One Lie episode with Erika Jane and how she said that she worked for the mafia. What else did she say? She was a special witness or some type of witness for a high-profile case, and that she was adopted. And then she said
oh,
somebody thought the lie was she was adopted, but she said that was the truth, like one of the truths, and she was adopted by her stepdad.
oh my gosh.
So who knows? Because that's the
Oh
only
wait,
thing.
but that's good. That
But
feeds
that's
into what
good
he's
though. That
saying.
doesn't mean anything.
She was no. It was he said that whoever this is, his housewife, was a witness on a high-profile case, but the witness was discredited. Back to their thing, and then you're saying on True Truths and a Lie, Erika said I was a witness on a high-profile case.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Oh,
saying
wow.
that Erika is now discredited as being that witness, and now the person that she spoke against can clear their name and have charges
Exactly.
dropped and go free.
Yes, and
Pow!
somewhere in the show, something Erika said discredited her as a witness and directly contradicted what she said. And now that's
And
because
that's
of
what they're
that,
gonna
the
show.
government dismissed the charges. Wow, that would be incredible. So I hear that he's going to be on.
Can you go to jail for that? Is that perjury?
It is perjury. You can go to jail, but right now, and I think I don't
She's
know.
bigger fish to fry.
Well, no, but here's the thing: a prosecutor that was trying to be an asshole could actually get her on perjury charges.
Yeah.
Actually pretty serious. I
Yeah.
don't know why they're handling her with such kid gloves. Somebody said that she's going to be. I'm sorry, Ron Richards is going to be on Up and Adam
Of course.
tomorrow. Yes, of course. You guys can watch that. Adam's great, or you guys
We
can
love
just
Adam.
watch me recap it because I'm going to recap it, right?
I'd rather watch you recap it.
Me too.
I'm going to do the dramatic reinterpretation, Adam's going to be like, so what is your name? And Rod's going to be like, Adam's going to ask those hard-pressing questions we all know, right? So, but I am interested to see what's going to happen on Up and Adam. I'm going to be watching. You guys follow Up and Adam. We all know he likes hard-hitting questions. He gets to the meat of the matter.
He
what's
sure
your
enough
name?
do.
And how long have you been an attorney? So you say that you're an attorney and a man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
If I was Erika, I'd get on
That
the canoe
Adam is the
and
Adam is a modern day Dan Rather. He's a very hard hitting journalist.
He
Yeah,
is. He is.
he really is. Yeah.
He is. So go ahead and check out Up and Adam. He's gonna do a fantastic job. And I think that you guys stop. I'm being serious. I
Well, we saw the Fallon
So are
thing.
we.
Jesus.
Oh, that was great.
Wendy Williams
liked
even
it.
pulled him for that one.
Oh shoot, I needed that. Thanks.
So Up and Adam. Let me stop before he starts dragging my YouTube channel. Jason and Kempire will be a trifecta and just drag me, right? But
Oh Lord, no. I mean,
that would raise my profile. So
Hey,
Yeah.
grab the
Exactly.
tape.
Let's see.
And
No, but
Jason, you know what? You be able to take all those boys with your pinky finger. Come on now.
Yeah.
You would take them at one.
I joke. They're not
I know.
on my radar,
Spray
and
them with
like
water.
I'm not
They'll
built.
run and scream.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
not even on my radar. But no, I do want to actually see the interview. I am going to watch the Up and Adam interview. You guys check it. Up
Me
and
too.
Adam's great. Down with Jason's great. Kempire is fantastic. Go ahead and watch it. But I probably am not probably, but I am going to review whatever it said, whatever is talked about in the interview, and also piece it together with what Ron Richards is talking about, and also try to find the receipts that he's talking about, so you guys don't have to scour all
But
over.
you know, I was going to say too. I didn't think about this. You know, Morano, he talks to anybody. You know, if you called him, you probably can talk to him too.
Tessa's going to be
That's
like,
not true. I reached out to Ronald Richards.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not, but you know what? To
Okay.
your point, I reached out on Instagram. I should actually just do a call, right? I should actually do a call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should actually do a call. Cut to Ron Richards blocking my number. So
Oh Lord. Okay.
no, but all jokes aside, it's going to be a good interview tomorrow. I will say one thing about Ron Richards. He does not mince words, and he comes out the gate swinging.
That's true.
So, and he's a great wordsmith. So all you have to do is just be like, go, and he'll, like most lawyers, he'll talk up a storm. So it's going to be a good interview. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to see if I can find receipts. But that's an interesting point. What if Erika was discredited as a witness? What if? But everybody has to know about it, because he literally tagged everybody and said, you know, are you going to come clean? He literally said, which is, I thought was just interesting, the way everybody knows about it. And he said, are you guys going to come? What was his exact words? He said, should
Do you
we
want to
tell
wait?
them? Or do one of you want to come clean? So that means maybe they were covering up for her too. So we'll see.
Also,
But they
I
all
saw-
knew.
I saw
Everybody.
Ron on Zach's.
None of this stuff is brand new information to them. They all know it. It's like the
Yeah.
worst kept secret. Bethany already told it. LVP told
Yes.
it. Camille told it. Everybody knows what's going on. They know what's going on. They
Well,
all
you know
knew.
what? On Watch What Happened Live tonight, Andy and Kyle confirmed that Bethany told them on the show when he was.
They had to.
Yeah, he did confirm that. Yeah.
Yeah, he did confirm that. So listen, you guys, thank you so much for joining. This was the best recap. I want to have all you guys back. Maybe when we're talking about candy, like, listen, we'll talk over email. I want to have all you guys back. And this time we'll do lives about like other things, psychological profiles. I think this went fantastic. You guys can catch me on Candy's channel. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to be on there. And then also, of course, I'll be on Mel NYC's reviews. And we'll keep up. You guys check the community post. And thank you everybody tonight, especially my Tattle Tells. It's $4.99. Go sign up. But
Yes.
especially my Tattle Tells, I really appreciate you guys coming up, showing in and showing out. And for all of you guys watching this on replay, I see the replay already has 2,258 people are watching this. Thank you guys. Right? And let us know in the comments what you think about this hot ass mess. You guys don't have to agree with us. We actually like the discourse. Just keep it respectful. But I don't got to tell you guys, because you guys always do. You guys know how to act, right? You guys know how to act. So thank you everybody so much. And you guys will see us all around good. And we'll keep posted what happens with Ronald Richardson's, all right? Richard, that's why he won't come on my show. He's like, this girl doesn't even know my name. I keep trying to turn him into a Richardson, right? Ronald Richards, RR, all right? Bye, everybody.
All
Thanks
right.
again.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.